You finished the game.
Finish the game. What? Just Twitch there. Fucking look at that.
Oh, Rhett just said subscribe.
Massive fucking message.
What massive message?
Rhett subscribed with Twitch Prime. They're subscribed for 26 months, currently on a 2-month streak. And then moderator banner, founder banner,
It's
Twitch
weird.
Prime banner.
It's weird that like it says that you dropped the streak when
Yeah, I don't know
you
why.
never did, unless there was a point in time where like unless there was just like a month that it didn't renew because I didn't stream or something.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I got 26 months.
Like it matters.
You know how I mentioned the other day, like, converting my credit card rewards into GameStop gift cards and then buying Steam
Into
gift cards
Steam
with
gift
those?
card. the best crafting system we have to offer.
Yeah. Well, this is another variant where my mom subscribes to Amazon Prime, which I turn into Twitch Prime, which then I sub to you. It's very
Have these
slow money laundering.
Wait. Amazon Prime lets you do a free subscription?
Yeah.
'Cause I have that.
Twitch Prime and Amazon Prime are the same thing, basically.
Yeah, they let
Man,
you.
I have a free subscription I could have been spending.
These
Oh, well.
motherfuckers.
They give you so many free games. I have like 100 on, and then I've never played like any of them. It sucks. I was like,
I'll look it
ukulele. When the fuck did I get that? Snake Pass. Oh yeah.
These
that's
motherfuckers
good.
still have not approved my Polyoko emote.
Son of a bitch.
Like it's been like a week and a half or something.
They're too busy losing people. To
Yeah, they're
Mixer.
too busy losing big streamers to give a shit about the little ones. Yeah, it's still fucking pending.
Aw.
Alright, put that on my to-do list to look into that.
Look into.
The Twitch Prime stuff.
Oh, it's just like you have to connect it to your. You have to connect your Amazon account to your Twitch account, and then it picks it up, and then if you go to a channel, it'll say like subscribe with Twitch Prime instead of just the regular sub button.
Gotcha.
What's going on, Dances with Owoos? Hope you're doing well this evening.
Yeah. Hi, Heather. I had an interesting. I went out for a walk by the lake, and then there are these two strangers about my age who are like trying to yank this like 8-person inner tube that had obviously just like popped and flown away from whoever was actually using it.
Oh no!
It was just stuck in the lake, like caught up in the shoals, and they were just trying to pull it up and out before it just like went out into the main lake. And I was just like, "Hey, do y'all need some help?"
Aw.
And I just wound up spending a half hour with these speakers trying to get this awful thing hurting my hands. Like we wound up like crashing a beer can that was nearby because no one had a knife, and then like sawing open the bottom where a bunch of water had collected and made it way too heavy to pull out, and we got it up and out. It was a good adventure.
Good adventure.
Yeah.
Well, how's it going after 5? Good to see you this evening.
After 5, you've had some good streams lately.
Hasn't he though? He's been playing good video games for once. If you can even call them video games.
That was funny watching you get, because you had like a couple comments and it was like, oh, I do not think this one's connecting with Polly.
Oh yeah, that one, Anatomy was just kind of just like, man, I could go to sleep watching this.
Well, I wanted to tell you, like when he was playing that and I knew you were bored. I was just like, keep in mind, After 5 is playing this very slowly because he's very scared. This movie.
Oh, I know. I wasn't gonna say anything to try and make it bad or anything. I'm not gonna like sit there and shit on the game just because I don't like it and try to make the mood worse for everybody else. That'd be stupid. I wouldn't do that.
I was just had that in my head. It's just like, okay, I know it looks a little bit boring, but keep in mind that he's playing it very slowly.
Oh yeah, I know. After 5 is he's a little baby.
He's a little baby.
He's a little baby.
I played that game in empty. I was told not to come home for like 3 hours, so I just stayed at my office and then in this empty office area, I just played Anatomy on my computer. It was a spooky environment for that.
Yo, Ding, how's it going? Just in time, we're gonna start a podcast momentarily. Right now, we're just bullshitting. Great.
Mm-hmm. Do we have a SMPS stream tweet?
Nope.
To retweet.
I don't think so.
Keep slacking off, Polly.
What did I do?
I was looking for an SMPS updates tweet to retweet.
Oh shit! I didn't. Right, you have access to that account, don't you?
Oh, I haven't used that in like 3 years.
Okay, hold on. I'll tweet it out on that.
You're like, got us here. Remind you of all the important duties.
Remind me of like the site and the Twitter account and the Discord I'm supposed to care about.
That you're the leader of.
That I'm the leader of. The leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's
how you love that.
Now
right?
that I know you hate it.
Oh no! Don't no! That legit makes me uncomfortable. Don't.
I know.
I tell you
just
what.
like to know how to
right
squick
back.
your friends out. It's very important.
Oh yeah, you've got to know like what buttons to press. So they're just not your friends, really, right?
Exactly. I don't have any buttons though. I'm completely impervious.
Oh yeah, totally. I'll be right back.
I just discovered something sad in Mario Maker 2, and it kind of screws up my level.
Oh.
If you break hard blocks in order to make scroll stop keep going again, they stay broken.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of weird for like a Metroidvania open level.
Oh, I get you.
So it's
right.
it's not a huge deal, but it's like, okay, I have to work around this now.
Mm-hmm. What, even if you go down like a pipe?
Yeah, I even tried pipes. I was like, shit.
Yeah, I get that. Oh, that's what you're doing. So you're like having it scroll like Metroid style.
It's kind of basically, yeah, it's kind of like I've got a horizontal area and a vertical area. But then I wanted to use 2 screens wide in the vertical level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, you have to have blocks throughout the entire thing to make it not scroll at all horizontally. So I'm like, what if just when you walk into this room, the wall explodes, which you can set up. Mm-hmm. But then once you go back to the real vertical rooms, they'll start scrolling. And it's like, oh, that's shitty. I can't let that happen.
Yeah. It's got to get that right feel.
Yeah.
I'll play it. I'm happy you're making a maze level.
It's not so much a maze. It's kind of it's a very simple maze, which means it'll probably be impossible for people who didn't design it to figure it out. Like, it doesn't cheat geometry as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's smart. Like, yeah.
Cool. Yeah,
because you could just make a level where the pipes... You can just make a level where the pipes just bring you random places, and that would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, who doesn't love pipe and door mazes? They're my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Love them.
There's that one really cool level in Mario 3 that I couldn't beat for like 10 years. That's the door fortress. And
in World 7, I think.
In World 8, there's a door maze fortress.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And the trick is just that there's 2 levels, and they correspond. Like, you go in the door in one, it puts you in the same place in the other. And if you go in the door here, it goes in the same place in the other. And like once I was like mapping them out before realizing, oh, this is honest. This isn't just a clusterfuck. And then that let me figure out the riddle.
That's actually like a clever one though, because you have to learn the space and then you understand the language of what's going on in that one little level, and that's really cool. But fucking door mazes where there's no sense behind it, and it's just Phantasy Star 2 level nonsense.
Yeah,
it's just like
Phantasy Star 2, like all the teleport pads are just stairs.
No, there's one where it's just teleport pads, dude.
Okay, they're probably, I believe.
Yeah, like there's one that's just nothing but like there's like 108 interconnected teleporters. It's terrible.
They look like there's a lot of them that look like teleporters that are just stairs. It's just that it's terrifying because they're still like 100 of them.
Yeah.
So even when they're just stairs, it's the most terrifying stair maze. It's a nightmare.
Oh,
That game's a
SMB184. I still remember that. I still remember the path through 84.
That might be the one I'm thinking about.
Raven, thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Enjoy the poly emotes and the fart sound. Cool. Oh, we're looking at 6 o'clock, right? We're ready to get this thing started.
Well, 5 o'clock in correct time.
Oh, correct time. Gotcha. Sounds like little bitch time to me. Welcome, everyone, to Sockscast, episode 104. I'm your host, Polly, as always, and we are brought to you by Moon Pies, as always, as well. Moon Pies. Why waste all that money on toilet paper when you could just buy more Moon Pies?
Oh, no!
And that cheer from Tinker Gemini could not have come in at a more perfect fucking cue. Woo! Going right into that quality you expect with the Sockscast, right? Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sounds like we are just right on the nose with exactly where we should be when putting one of these things together. To my immediate virtual right, shoot him again. He ain't dead yet. It's Rhett.
I found the pop-out chat button. It eludes me every single time we do one of these.
You finally found it.
It takes me like 10 minutes every time, though.
Yeah, you've got to do it with 2 clicks now. If you're a moderator, you have to do it 2 times.
That's what I figured out. I'm like, what if I just go to basic non-mod view and it's still like a list of 30 options? I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, there's
Twitch got a little complicated.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Some would say they kind of over-design things a little. Just like that new dashboard that's about to go live for creators that I previewed and I hate it.
Why do things change?
Why do they change when they already fucking work as well as they, like this works just fine, but now it's just somebody had an idea, so we have to implement it to make it look like we're doing. I don't know. It's dumb.
We need endless growth.
It's like I hope it's not like Google where people are just create something. You have to just create something. It doesn't matter if it's shit or it's always in beta, but you have to just make something. It doesn't matter if
and then we destroy it.
Yeah, it's like let's try to destroy video games with Stadia. That'll be a smart idea. Somebody had this great idea of negative input delay. Are you fucking for real?
Oh my god, yeah. It's going to be faster than local hardware.
You're stupid as fuck, Rhett. Are you ready for a podcast?
Yeah.
You sound like you're ready for one. Oh shit! I thought of something. Like something I want to show you. I did this to somebody else earlier, and it was really fun. You want to play a word game with me?
Okay.
Rhett.
Okay.
You want to play a word game with me?
Sure.
All right. I'll explain it when I'm done. It's kind of like a card trick, so there's like a real fun trick to it, and I'll explain it when it's done. But when we get to the end of it, you're going to be like, how the fuck did you do that? And I'll explain it. It'll be really fun. Okay. So this is really simple. I'm going to say a series of 5 words. And after each word, I want you to repeat that word and what. So if I say computer, you say...
Computer what?
Yes. It works like that.
Okay.
And then when we get to the 5th one, that's when the magic happens. Okay? That's when you're gonna look back and go like, how the fuck did you do that? All right, you ready?
Okay.
Okay. First word. Mystery.
Mystery what?
Phantom.
Phantom what?
Phenom.
Phenom what?
Spectre.
Spectre what?
Enigma.
Enigma what?
Enigma balls, bitch!
Okay.
There you go.
Great.
It's your, that's your fun joke for the day.
Fantastic.
Rhett's reaction made that for me.
Just so deadpan, like, fuck it.
I was just like, I knew you're trying to trick me into saying something, so I'm very carefully trying to calculate in my word. Like, this isn't something I definitely shouldn't say, right?
Oh, no.
And
Just another dumb ligma joke.
Like, great.
It's funny to me. I don't care if
that's really what matters. That's what I care about.
That's this podcast.
Yeah, it's this podcast. If it's funny to me, then we're winning. We only got this far just because I'm the one that deemed everything hilarious. To my immediate virtual left, he's yet to go through his I love David Cage's games phase, and God help us when he does. It's John Thayer.
I don't just like bad games. Byron did the same thing earlier today.
Debatable. I'm with Red on this one.
Like, that's not my personality.
Debatable.
Ugh. They seem really bad. I don't want to play David Cage's games.
Woo! I'm watching. I've been watching a Let's Play of Detroit, and oh my god!
Oh, boy.
Woo!
Yeah, that's not the kind of bad I'm particularly. That seems interesting to me.
I played Heavy Rain back in the day when it was kind of the thing, and was just kind of a little nonplussed by it.
Yeah,
and he's just only gotten worse since.
That's the thing.
There's Heavy Rain being clunky, and then there's Detroit being like accidentally super racist.
I invented black people. That's David Cage.
No one has ever made a metaphor like this before.
We freed the title screen slave.
Oh god!
But it made you sad, so we got you a new one.
Ooh.
Good job.
The robots sit on the back of the bus.
Oh god, it's so bad! Oh no! Oh man, when we got to that point, I was aghast, sitting there at work, just oh god, trying to hold it in because it's really that bad. All right. So hey, Rhett, would you like to get this podcast rolling?
I guess. I finished Xenoblade 2.
Oh, hey, wow.
Like 3 days after we did the last podcast, so this
was supposed to be a journey that took you years upon years.
No, I just kind of fucking blasted through this one.
Yeah. What, 2 podcasts now, I think?
I mean, I was like 90% done it by the last podcast. That's the wild part.
Right.
Oh yeah, Jetstorm in the chat, who was in here last time, and we went over the systems.
Yeah, the game's got a lot of those.
Oh yeah, we went over every game with Tom.
Yeah.
We literally talked about every RPG in existence.
That he's played all of them, so it's pretty useful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He could do one of those like review things, like every SNES RPG ever.
Yeah, that's gonna be like when we do SNES Week 2.
Oh god.
He's going to review every JRPG.
You've not played them all, but you could probably play the ones you've missed to do that.
Probably.
I've looked at lists. I feel like Tom could probably manage that.
Oh, he's still working on Wild Arms. Ironic.
Weird.
I think Tom could definitely do every Japanese localized RPG.
Oh.
SNES. Like, no problem.
Yeah, I suppose that genre in particular gets a little weird when you're trying to do all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when I was doing shmups, it was like, you know,
if I need to, I can brute force my way through this in about an hour.
Yeah, you can brute force through a shmup. You don't care about the dialogue. A JRPG, little different.
Yeah.
Maybe the most different, really.
That's why the only video games you need are shmups and JRPGs.
Yes, the two yin and yang.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I always alternate. It's either shmups and JRPGs or shmups and visual novels. Like, is a JRPG just a perverted version?
I kind of agree
version of a visual novel.
Yeah. It's pure action versus pure reading. JRPGs are lots of reading with a little input from the player.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Xenoblade 2.
Yeah,
I liked this game. I'm not sure if I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
The story is like, it's really good on the surface, and you know, it moves along, and I think it has a lot of issues that if you like pick at it, it maybe starts to fall apart a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's just the whole setup of the blades is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then there's that whole gacha system where you're like rolling and re-rolling.
Yeah, like
blades,
that
like,
just feels bad.
But like the way that works into the story kind of is strange, because there's a chapter like fairly early on, maybe first third of the game, called like, I think it's called like Slaves and Masters.
Oh, yeah.
And the way they're talking about how, like, the lifespan of a blade is actually super fucked up because they are bound to their owner.
Mm-hmm.
But if the owner dies, the blade doesn't die, but they lose all their memories.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
So they are just reborn, a little bit later, but they don't have any idea what happened because their mind has been entirely wiped.
Yeah.
Ooh. So like they're perpetually, it gets really kind of heavy and dark.
It's heavy, dark, and messed up, but I think that like it's kind of an interesting thing to look at. Like, it's somber and really kind of like I feed on that dark shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, see, I really like this setup. I just don't feel they pay it off really particularly well. Like when at the end of the game you kind of learn the true nature behind the blades, and it kind of seemed to have nothing to do with this part. It's just like, like, so why you're gonna have like no comment on the fact that humans are using them as instruments of war now, huh? Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, see, like, that's kind of where I thought the game was going to go early on in the story. Especially and that's probably, like, that chapter is probably where I started thinking that, and I wish that was elaborated on a little more.
Yeah, because, like, going back into the memory loss thing, there's one character who keeps a diary extensively because she knows she's going to lose her memories eventually. Mm-hmm. So, like, she wants to have a diary of, like, who I was in previous lives, basically.
She don't want to close her eyes. She don't want to fall asleep because she'll miss you, baby. And she don't want to miss a thing. I'm going to drive this bit into the ground. Don't worry. It's okay.
So, wait, Red, is it just like 50 First Dates?
No, because they live longer than that. Okay. But, like, some characters in that story...
50 First Dates is better.
No, definitely not. But some characters in that story are like 500 years old, so she does eventually meet somebody who knew her as a long time ago, and she questions, like, is this diary accurate? Am I kind of the same person as I was back then? And that stuff is super interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, so, like, for a while, one issue with this game is that the villain's plans are really kind of... I've heard nonsensical, maybe a little simplistic. I thought for a while that their plan was going to be to liberate the blades and, like, break them out of this system, and then it just isn't that, basically.
Yeah, it would have been a more noble cause, I think.
Yeah, and I thought, also, how are you going to keep them the villains if that's actually their goal? Yeah, so that's not what they're actually trying to do.
Whew, yeah, that'd be some tricky subject. So, yeah. David Cage could handle
Detroit
that.
Stuff, yeah.
Oh, boy.
The blades are at the back of the bike.
Oh, no!
Yeah, I feel like it does kind of raise interesting questions and, like, dealing with the morality of this world and then not totally pay them off, really. Mm-hmm. The other thing I don't like is that... So I played the main game, and, like, knowing that there's this expansion called the Torna of the Golden Country that takes place 500 years ago is kind of a bummer because... so much of this game is just flashbacks to 500 years ago.
Yeah.
To basically justify all character motivation.
Weird.
So, like, almost the entire villain crew is from that era. Mm-hmm. So, like, all of their motivation happened back then. And, just the constant flashbacks kind of drove me a bit up the wall. Because it's like, oh... he's doing this because this character died 500 years ago, and, like, it means nothing to me, but if I had played Torna first, maybe it would.
Yeah, like, that kind of weirded me out a bit with how they, like, with how 500 years ago is such a big part of that story.
Also the way...
it makes you feel a little less connected to everything overall, in a way.
Yeah.
How does it compare with, like, Breath of the Wild, doing something kind of similar?
I think there's a lot more flashbacks in this, whereas Breath of the Wild... Because I think the problem is that because they actually were planning on fleshing it out with an expansion that's like its own 30-hour RPG.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know... I haven't played that, so there may be more in there that kind of spoils things, but I feel like right now I kind of wish I'd checked out that first as, like, okay, here's... motivation behind these characters that you don't necessarily know are going to be the villains in the main game.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what fans of those two games think of trying to approach that series in that order now that they have all the information.
I've just heard a lot of people say to play the original game first anyways. And that's interesting to me. I'll get to Torna eventually, but yeah.
Come on, you need another 30-plus hour RPG on your plate before the end of the year, Rhett. Come on, what are you?
Before the end of the year? I don't think so.
I'm kind of wussy over here?
I said eventually.
You some kind of wussy?
I'm playing...
I was literally, like, earlier, like, I'm not going to do any super long games for the rest of the year. I think I'm good. And then Brett was like, yep.
I am only playing super long game the rest of the year.
No, I said, like, after Xenoblade, like, I'm done with JRPGs for a bit. And then I played some other games and, like, kind of bounced hard off 2 of them.
Oof.
And then I was like, well, fuck it. I'll play Somnium Files.
Yeah! That's good. That there's a good video game.
Basically, it was just like, you know what, it's a little far from the end of the year. I can get this in. I'm probably finish it definitely by the end of next month, and we'll be doing Game of the Year by then, probably.
You could have that game finished by, like, next weekend.
I'm very slow, Paulie. But anyways. So...
on the last VN I played.
I started Fata Morgana and got, like, an hour in and was just like, maybe I should play Trails Third instead. The game starts a little slow. I don't doubt you that it's a masterpiece. It starts a little slow.
It's a slow game. It is very much a slow burn until it's getting to the more intriguing stuff that's happening sort of around the stories that you're witnessing.
Yeah, it's not really so much thing where, like, oh, right after you stopped, it immediately picked up.
No.
Oh, no. No.
You're going to need another 5 or 6 hours of kind of just getting chill.
Yeah. So I didn't want to get too far into that to where I would think I would need to restart if I went back to it.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. So back to Xenoblade. Then I have issues with the ending of that game.
Yeah.
I described it to John as like, I wish there was a meme for how I feel about this ending, where I wanted a picture of a person crossing a finish line triumphantly and then falling on their face immediately afterwards.
Whoops.
And I would write on those images, Xenoblade 2 ending, as they're like putting their arms up like, yeah, I've made it to the finish line. And then Xenoblade 2 post-credits scene as they fall on their face.
Whoops.
Because whoops.
Yeah, that was the thing that I had an issue with. I've talked to a lot of people that have played this game about that, and they have various different perspectives about the ending. And it's like, yeah, I get what they're going for. I just don't particularly like it. It just doesn't suit me, and I don't feel like in my own kind of way of looking at that narrative, I didn't feel it was earned.
I don't feel it lines up with the entire rest of the ending at all.
Yeah, it always felt to me like it was just like by committee of, oh yeah, we saw your ending. Could I go back and add a little something to that, please?
Yeah.
We have toys that we need to sell.
When you say something like that, it makes me feel like, okay, did they undo like a very nice tragedy just to like something sad and then make it like, oh no, it's happy?
I'm rubbing my nose right now.
Okay. That's kind of like where my brain goes when you talk like, oh, the post-credit scene like ruins it. I was like, okay.
I'm thinking very loudly right now.
Do that.
Yeah.
Do that mighty make.
Polly had a great line where she goes, I didn't even play this game and I was mad for 3 days after seeing that.
Yeah, I was so very initially angry when I reached the end of that Let's Play. It was like, oh man. That was a lot of my time to be real disappointed.
Oh, they get right there and then they snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. But like some people do like it. Like I asked Iffy and she was happy with the ending. So
like a lot of people are totally fine with it, and like that's totally okay with me.
Yeah, but for me it was like once I started being able to pick apart that really easily, it's when I started thinking about the story as a whole and being like,
it's where you could tug at other threads.
There's a lot of other little things you can pick at, and then it's like, I had a fun time with it.
Yeah,
it was a good game.
Yeah, like that's totally a fine and valid way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
One other thing is that the combat in this game is very fun and flashy.
Mm-hmm.
And like you do big numbers, especially at the end, and like you do those combos and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There is something to me about the combat in the original that is so not fun.
Yeah.
And how like the last 8 bosses in the first game, and remember I played the first game like super recently.
Mm-hmm.
Those last couple bosses were such arduous fucking mountains, like every single one of them, that it became a much more memorable experience where every boss was like, oh, what the fuck am I going to do with this? Like just throwing myself at it, trying over and over on these bosses,
just
like
smashing your face into it over and over.
And then going into my gear, like re-equipping things, like figuring out moving skills around, just like really trying to figure out what the hell to do. And like there is something about like the struggle that I like in the first game, as well as just maybe the story having a better payoff and some real nonsense. Yeah, it just reminded me of when John was talking about Alliance Alive being like the super easy version. That's probably Xenoblade to Xenoblade 2 is probably a similar.
Like, that game would be way more difficult for me to get into just because of all the fucking systems. Like, that stuff would drive me insane. Like, all the stuff...
Which one, 2?
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, all the stuff you have to keep track of in a fight. It's just like, oh my god. Just even watching it is exhausting.
I think it's a little easier, actually, than the... Well, I mean, the combat is easier than the original, but I think the original, I felt, was actually a lot more hectic because you have, like, 8 skills equipped, and, like, you're just constantly mashing on the D-pad to move your skill cursor around.
Yeah.
Like, I think positioning is a little more important than the original game. But then also just, like, if you lose aggro in that first game, you're fucking dead. Oh, you're
instantly. Done. You're toast. Yeah. You are toast.
And I went the extra step beyond and just played as Melia at the end, who was even squishier than Shulk.
Yeah.
I've never been so scared as I was against the final boss in that game. Thinking, like, if Ryan loses aggro, it's just over instantly. Because Ryan was my bro through that entire game. He took every hit like a champ. Yeah. 9999 HP for like half the game.
Like I've seen like Eric and a few others play that game to the end and just have their tank lose aggro and it just falls apart in seconds.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful because I'm not the one playing.
It's funny when it happens because it's just so chaotic. Like,
it's just like, where did those numbers come from all of a sudden, and why is everybody on the ground?
Yeah. 2 never gets quite that.
No, 2 is like, you can lose a party member and not even realize it sometimes.
Well, that's also bad. But yeah, there were fights in 2 where I think Nia would go down, but because Morag for me was having like such good evasion, she would just not be taking damage at all as the tank.
Yeah.
And be like, well, okay, I'll go get Nia when that bar is full again.
She's just having a cat nap.
Yeah.
Because she's a cat girl. Get it?
Yeah, it's just cat amazing. Nap? I get it.
Okay.
It's just amazing when your healer can go down and you won't immediately notice.
You don't immediately notice it. Yeah.
That's a little strange. God, Morag had such ridiculous evasion for me.
Morag's so good. Like, evasion tanks are usually, like, kind of a gamble because obviously you're relying on RNG. Yeah. But, like, when they're implemented well and they work, it feels real good.
Yeah. The other okay, last thing about Xenoblade 2 that I thought was funny. I think the final boss is around level 70. And there's, like, a big monster outside, like, the starting town that's, like, level 82. He just walks up to you and just fucking hits you for like 5,000 damage the entire game.
He's just like your pal coming to say hi.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people bitch about it online. It's just like, that's just the Xenoblade experience. Like, they do it in the first game too. But being able to be like, oh, you are like literally 10 levels higher than the final boss is wild. I am just not interested in the post-game stuff. Unfortunately,
like I watched After 5 do a lot of that post-game stuff and a lot of the tweaking you can do with the difficulty sliders and shit. Like that stuff actually, like if you were into that battle system, you can really customize it for the kind of experience you want. And seeing him fiddle with a lot of that stuff was actually really like one of the cooler parts of watching him play that game. and doing.
So what
like,
are these sliders? I don't even remember that.
I don't know if it's like DLC or if it's an update, but there are difficulty sliders where you can adjust the difficulty of battle and like how inflated or deflated enemy stats are.
Weird.
Versus your stats and shit. Like, it's a lot of interesting stuff, and I don't know if that's just like difficulty tied or not.
I wonder if it's something you unlock later.
Yeah, Jetstorm says it was just an update.
Huh.
It was a hard update, so.
Okay.
Yeah, like that stuff looked interesting. Just like how granular you can get with tailoring that game's difficulty. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So that's Xenoblade 2. It's good.
Cool. Overall, it's still a good experience, even if like
it's really pretty.
Yeah, even if not everybody like agrees on the ending.
Yeah.
Like it seems that like people do overall enjoy that game on the whole, which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Xenoblade 1 is good and Xenoblade 2 is trash. Right?
It's not trash. It's a different experience though. If you go in thinking it's more fun, it's definitely not that.
No.
Can you finish one and that's an okay endpoint?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was the endpoint for like almost
8 years.
10 years. Yeah.
Cool.
Because I don't think X is connected to either of them at all.
No, I think it's its own thing.
Yeah. Whereas this one, they put that 2 for a meaning.
Gotcha.
So who's next?
I don't know who wants to go next.
I am.
All right, John.
Okay, John is next.
John is next.
I finished Fata Morgana.
Yo, I heard that's a real good visual novel, John.
Oh, it's a real good visual novel.
I believe I might have even heard the word masterpiece thrown around a couple times.
I said that earlier.
I did. Yeah, I finished it. It was just immediately like, derp, 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 derp. Hello, Twitter, you need to play this. Hello, Discord, you need to play this. Hello, other Discord, you need to play this. Is one of those.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those you don't shut up about it until everybody knows, and then they never play it because you already made everybody sick of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's typically how it goes for me. It's like when I like something and I recommend it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
No, it's you that lets yourself be ruined by recommendations.
That's a good point. Yeah. I do.
We all do.
I will spite not play something if somebody keeps bugging me about it.
It can be trying. I finished something else like the next day and then talked about that way more. Talked about it way more. And I was like, but why am I thinking so much about this when Fata Morgana was so good? I think it was that Fata Morgana just like kind of kept me basically engaged like the whole time, where every time I sat down I just kind of thought about it for a little bit and I was just like, yeah, oh man,
like I think the thing with Fata Morgana is like even I didn't like gush about it that much to a lot of people. I think it's just like it lands, it sticks its landing so well and it's so resolute in doing so that I just look at it and think I don't really need to say a lot. Like the game fucking speaks for itself in a way that I've like very few visual novels or stories that I've engaged with in this way have done so. Like it's just like it's a very fucking honest story. It does right by the characters. Like there's not a lot you can say about this thing that is bad other than the one part that I didn't like all that much, which didn't seem to be a problem for you or anybody else that has played it. So
yeah, that's like the one thread to pick at. And which was like the one thing we had like a real conversation about. The rest of it's just like that. It's really good. It's just really good, yeah.
Yeah, like the writing is top notch. The characters are the characters just fucking they shine. Like I believed everything. Like it all felt good. It all felt honest and real and true. And it's so fucking confident. Like
yeah.
It just has this air of confidence to everything that it is doing and saying that it's undeniable. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
Everything is there because it has a reason to be there.
Yeah.
It's very confident and competent where they're just... It's bewildering to me that this is that author's first professional release.
Yeah.
Like, it's
stunning.
bonkers.
It's stunning.
It's so polished. Just, like, completely together.
Yeah, like from its narrative to its presentation, everything comes together in a way that's just so unbelievably good.
Yeah. I think it's if you're the kind of person that's really sensitive to stuff that's like very, very sad.
Yeah, very sad. Like some people, like a podcast that I listen to, the Visual Novel Book Club, they did a season on this while dissecting it chapter by chapter in a roundtable format, and I think a lot of them felt that at some points in this story it was a little too
too deep in the pit.
Yeah, a little too deep in the pit at times. I felt like maybe characters were being put through the ringer a little too much, but it's just like it never felt that way to me. Like it
we
felt
both like Psychono.
Yeah. I also like Psychono, which is very sad and has been accused of being emotion porn.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're the kind of person that is just like hates that rails on tragedy porn as like a concept.
Yeah.
Usually when I hear that, it just kind of rings up a little bullshit to me. Because I think the issue for me is that those same people won't turn around and criticize stories that are just like very happy in an unearned way.
Right.
Like they won't say that this is catharsis porn.
Yeah. Like, like I think you could definitely make that point. Is that things are never fucking criticized for being too happy. You got a point.
Wait, Danganronpa.
I don't know if that's what that game was criticized for.
Yeah, I
think
that game was criticized because some people are just dumb and don't get a point. But that's just me.
Oh, I thought Danganronpa criticized itself for being catharsis porn.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all manipulation. It's just like if you're only put off by sad manipulation, but not put off by happy manipulation.
Yeah,
maybe that's something to think about. Maybe take a gander at that and think, why am I put off by this? Like I know a lot of old people especially are just like, I don't go into movies to feel sad. I felt sad enough in my life, and I don't. Yeah. And you know what? That's valid.
Also, I kind of get it because things fucking suck right now.
Yeah, everything's pretty bad right now, and a lot of people don't want to be miserable. And I get it. Yep.
So if you're not up for that, that's true. There's a lot of content warnings, I think, for this, and you can hit me up or call me up.
Yeah,
because it gets pretty gnar.
Oh boy, I'm excited to read this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it dips into a lot of the same it's a lot of trauma and processing trauma.
Yeah.
And it gave me a lot of it kind of gave me a lot to chew on in the same way that Trails Third and Fate kind of did.
Mm-hmm.
But with just a very kind world, with just a very smart worldview for the most part, I think.
Yeah. And
just being very well put together. So it's just kind of exactly what was useful for me.
And I feel that when Fata Morgana is tackling those heavier subjects, it feels so informed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for sure because I've never really researched it, but it feels like the person that wrote these things either did the proper research or has experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that way about a lot of the way some of the threads in Trails Third came together as well. Is some things just you can't pluck from the ether, I don't think. Some things have to be from real experience, either from others' point of view or your own. And Fata Morgana feels like a story that's very lived in to some degree. Mm-hmm. And I really appreciated that. And obviously I appreciated the way that it approached certain subject matter as it pertains to gender roles and all of that stuff. I think that it handles all that shit in a way that's very respectful while also looking at the uglier side of how those things get addressed by other people and other media. So it's just really smart and really well researched and has a good tone when it comes to dealing with those kinds of things.
Yeah, that's the other thing is I can see folks bouncing if they just have a hard time with queer tragedy stuff.
Yeah,
especially not knowing the author's situation or anything. It I remember certain folks feeling finding J.J. Macfield exploitative.
Yeah.
Last year, and if that's the kind of perspective you're coming from, I think that's valid.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. And that you can ask us for details there.
And that's why Kindred Spirits on the Roof exists.
No, I'm trying
that's
to be
not
nice,
me throwing shade. I swear to God, it's not.
I'm trying to be nice.
I know. Look, like, you know how we do this thing. We got to have those moments where it's real, and then someone has to fart, and then we're back to normal, right?
I mean, I literally, I went on Rebind for the first time because it seems like a really cool new game crit website that actually covers interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. And I immediately, eyes going down the screen, and I was just like, what's the thing that might make me feel bad? And I immediately saw queer exploitation of queer tragedy in games.
Oh, dear.
I immediately went straight there, like, oh, is this going to make me feel bad? As someone who has made lots of queer tragedy, helped make and made queer tragedy games.
Yep, had my hand in that.
High five.
Probably still have another hand in that. Whoops. Yo, I just like dark stories, okay? I'm sorry.
Except for the one I made by myself that even you didn't like.
Look, man, look. If Polly's writing a story, somebody's probably dying. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. And because, obviously, we're both very much about that. We're very, I was just like, oh, this, I used the term S-tier suffering for a movie I watched the other day. That's just kind of my brain. I go in and it's a kind of emotional sadism where I'm just going in really just looking to come. What's the word? Or maybe masochism, where it's just I want to. What's the word for? Someone else is experiencing something and you experience it through them.
Vicariously.
Vicariously experience this awful feelings. Yes, excellent. Thank you. And Final Morgana delivers.
Oh yeah. It's got that in spades.
Oh man. Oh, it's a lot. There's one specific scene where I finally just put down the controllers, just I'm done for the night.
Oh no.
I am done. Good night.
I think you mentioned that part in the DM we were having while you were playing.
It's so over the top.
It's so over the top, and it goes hard. At some point, it's almost kind of dumb, but it still works.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It still works just because of the way that they've kind of earned those moments leading up to it.
Oh my god. So I really liked Final Morgana.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's good shit.
Polly.
Yo.
What have you been up to?
Played a video game.
What was it?
You know those video games? Those are good things.
Oh, boy.
I played a remake of what I would say, even though John's not involved, geez. It's a remake of a Sockscast classic. We even did a spoiler cast on this game back.
God, did we? Oh,
yeah,
my God.
we did. With our good boy, Carmichael McCallis, who I'm sending all my love to right now, by the way.
I'm completely blanking.
Much love to our good pal, Carmichael. I played Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2R. This is a remake of Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory 2, which is known as the good one with Uzume.
Okay, I was trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's the good one with Uzume and her fish pal Umio, which is the best additions to that series.
Fish husbando.
Fish husbando.
I love Umio.
Fish version of John Thayer.
I feel a connection with Umio.
You and Umio, basically the same person, but I'm not sure that he'd be as into Fate as you are. Doesn't really. He seems to have a, he's got a little bit of class to him. I don't think he wallows in trash.
I don't know. He is like the opposite of I want to watch porn and not porn, torture porn.
Yeah, he is the opposite of I want to watch torture porn
and live through it vicariously.
Yeah,
I feel like I embody a number of contradictions.
Yeah, he's one side of you, but not all of them.
Yeah.
You said the same. Well, yeah, you said the same thing about the Wander Song Bard, and I was
yeah.
Like Umio and the Wander Song Bard, probably not into torture porn. So Mega Dimension Neptunia V2R is basically just a straight remake of the original with a shinier new graphics engine. It's not Unreal 4 like they used for Cybernet. It's just I can't remember. It's an engine that makes the 3D pop a lot more, and the characters have stronger outlines. So it's really got that kind of real but kind of still anime kind of look to it. That it's just kind of an overall better looking package than the original. It's just a little shiny.
Honestly, I had no idea they had really overhauled the visuals this much.
Yeah, like they moved to this engine, I think, when they were working on Death End Request, and then I think that this game kind of just came after that.
Yeah.
When they made the move. So yeah, it's got shiny new graphics. It's got VR content.
Yeah, that's the reason to play this.
That's basically the reason to play this game, is that it's got VR content that can be accessed without the use of a VR headset. And it's it's just like the player is acknowledged at the start of this story now. So it's like you are literally reliving the original game's story, which I think that's kind of a cool setup for what they're doing. Because it's sort of presenting this meta layer on top of the original game to kind of give them a reason to include the VR stuff. And look, we like meta shit here on the Sockscast anyway. So it presents that. And the VR content is that you interact with the four goddesses by them kind of like popping into your room every once in a while to have weird one-off conversations with you that made me feel really awkward. I don't know. It just felt weird to me. Like, it was not the cool experience I was thinking that it might feel like.
I think you have to do this stuff in VR for it to work at all.
That way, nobody can see what you're looking at. That way, it feels marginally less embarrassing. But yeah, that stuff is just like, it's not really tied to the game in any way after that moment of it being presented. Like, oh, you're playing Mega Dimension Neptunia. I remember that game. That was a cool adventure. Are you liking it so far? Kind of cool things like that. And then at some point that kind of gets dropped, and they're just like after every kind of major scene, a new VR scene unlocks that you can optionally go watch. And it's just like them having weird, like, kind of personalized conversations with you, but they can't get too specific because then it won't work. So it's just weird. Like, I don't know. They felt weird and bad to me.
I think we found Polly's weeb dumpster limit.
We might have found my weeb dumpster limit.
You found your lowest. You cannot go beneath this point.
No, it's.
I know I would be into this.
Yeah.
I think we knew that your dumpster limit was lower.
Yeah, your dumpster limit is a lot lower because you play Dead or Alive and jerk off to it. So, I mean, like 5 times a day.
My limit was rebuying this game.
Yeah.
For the VR stuff. And having to play through the game again to unlock all of it.
Yeah. But it's just like, you get like the visits from the goddesses and Big Nep every once in a while. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, you get Big Nep visits. And they're...
Why no Uzume?
Why no Uzume? Exactly! I didn't see a single Uzume, and I don't think that she's included in any of the VR scenes at all. That kind of makes me angry.
Sigh.
Indeed.
How big are those Neps in VR, though?
They're pretty big. Look, man, you can still zoom in. They're pretty big.
Wow.
Look, man. Big Nep is still good. Okay, we're not gonna say that she's not.
Polly, if they had Uzume, then it would be good.
I might be a little more interested. Might be. Look, it's nicely done. I think that they probably did like a lot more like mocap work for the character doing various things in your room, and just like them kind of prancing around your room, picking things off the shelves. Like, there's a lot of extra animation here not used in the actual gameplay that I know that they put into this. And it's just weird where, like, Blonde is in your room, and it's just like, she pulls a book off your shelf, and it's just like, oh, I really like this one after reading for approximately 3 seconds. And it's just like, she has to be very non-specific about the book. She can't tell you anything about, like, the dialogue is so fucking weird. It just, I won't say it squicked me out, but it was just like, I don't feel good about this.
It sounds like you were really petrified at the idea of somebody seeing you play this.
Yeah, I would not want to be seen playing this. Not at all. So
this
like
reminds me of an old Polly comic.
Oh no. I know what that is. I know what that is. So
not what it looks like.
The biggest new overhauls are that hey, we cut a lot of content.
Why
they took out the bad and normal ending, so only the true ending exists now.
Oh,
which sucks because the normal ending I feel is really fucking good. Like they took out the bad ending because After 5 was literally the only person to ever get that ending.
And then saved. Still grumpy about that.
Oh my god. I'm still mad about that.
Why do people not understand true endings? Why? It's not that hard.
No, this was just a case of After 5 rushing through. And he missed a couple of things on the map that are real obvious, and then he went and beat the game and then saved over that save.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know not to save when it obviously wasn't the ending.
Like, this game, the original version of this game is designed for you to get the normal ending first, and then beat the game again to get the true ending, and it totally works like that.
Yeah, it actually, like, from a narrative standpoint, it feels really good to have seen that normal ending and then get the true ending. So yeah, they took that out.
Great.
They
Xenoblade 2'd it.
Yeah, they got a new battle system, entirely new. It's really bad.
Oh,
it is. Oh my god, they've taken battles where like the battle in Mega Dimension Neptunia is super snappy and just you're in and out. Like this is like 2 to 3 minutes per random battle now. Oof. And it's all because they've created this new AP system where every turn you have X number of points that you use to perform skills to build combos from. So it's sort of like the Super Dimension Neptunia Sega Hard Girl system in a way where if you burn too many AP, your turns come later and later. So enemies get more and more turns. And the battle just is slower and slower. But hey, it's good. There's little to no challenge at all. It's just enemies have a lot of hit points. They don't hit very hard.
You're having a rough streak of RPGs lately.
Yeah, it's not looking good for RPGs right now.
Wait.
But yeah, the battles take way too damn long with this, like, because you're like, it's always menus. Like, you're stuck in menus upon menus upon menus in this battle system, whereas in the Rebirth games and like Mega Dimension Neptunia, the original version, it was just like, okay, here's a face button, press it to do a rush attack, press it to do a heart attack. Whereas now you've got to fucking go through menus upon menus of attacks to build combos, and it's just so fucking slow and pointless.
There's Chrono Crossy, actually.
Yeah, it's basically kind of Chrono Crossy, only there's more options.
Oh god. So
there's a new progression system. So it's like dump points into new things because systems are cool. So even though you're already overpowered, every level you get points to dump into your actual stats, which they buried that about 5 menus deep. So I didn't actually notice this until the 3-hour mark. That's another thing with this game.
And it was still easy.
Yeah, that's another thing with this game is that everything is buried like 20 menus deeper than it needs to be. I didn't figure out how to actually get new skills on my characters until about 7 hours in. Because it is 1, 2, 3. It is 4 menus in. And you can easily overlook it because of the way the menus and the UI is set up. Because it doesn't really call out attention to things or let you know new things are available.
This is so weird. Why are RPGs like this?
So
is this because of gacha games? Like those are really popular now, and that was the first time where I played a game, and I was just like, there's so much, and I know why there's so much. It's because it's obfuscating the systems to the point where I don't understand the relationship between this number and money.
Yeah.
So if it's obfuscated, then I'll spend money. But then other games, there isn't that. There's just that obfuscated.
So in terms of skills, characters have skills that you dump points into. Items, you can't use an item until you learn the skill to use the item. So you can't use healing items unless you buy the ability to use them.
Yeah, the license.
Yeah, you got to get the license to do it. So
for items in general, or just each specific one?
Each specific one.
Oh, wow. It was actually... I thought I was overreaching there. And
No, it
that's
is.
what you meant.
Every specific item has a skill assigned to it.
Oh,
and
my
you,
God.
And you have to buy the ability to use it.
John just fucking gave up after that.
Yeah. And, remember how you build a combo with skills? Well, you don't learn skills per level. You don't learn skills by leveling up. You have to buy them in this menu with money. You have to spend your currency to buy weapons, armor, healing items, and now you've also got to use that as character progression. You literally have to stop and grind if you want to be able to afford things. Because nothing is sensibly priced in this game. Also, all the unique gear is gone, and now it's all just like, hey, here's the same item, but with different skills on it and different stats. We just gave you one that gave your character 700 points because we gave you 700 more hit points on this character because that's what the randomizer rolled. And now you have a weapon that's going to carry you through the next 3 chapters of the game. Just because the randomizer rolled this one specific ability on the item you found. Like, good job. So, you know that part in the game where you have the 4 goddess split? And you know how Neptune gets all of the stuff, but the 3 other goddesses start with nothing?
Yeah.
So even though they all get bumped up to level 35 at this point, regardless of what level you were after you beat Heart Dimension or Zero Dimension, they still don't start with skills. They start with no skills, no money, no items, and you have to build from that during their chapter. That's where I quit. I was like, I'm done. Nope.
Yeah,
we're not. I will not be finishing this game. It's like every terrible decision that you could make to take that original game and take the biggest steaming shit on it that you could. Somebody had literally every single bad idea. There are no more bad ideas left because whoever made this game took them all and put them in this game. All the bad ideas just rolled up into this, and people and like like looking at the Steam forums is just maddening because everybody's like, no, this is the definitive version. Like, are you fucking... No, you're legitimately stupid if you think that. You do not have a brain in your head if you think...
They saw those big naps in VR and said, this is the one for me.
If you think V2R is better than V2, you are literally stupid, and there is no help for you.
I thought it was 7. No,
it's Victory 2.
It is the 7th game, though. It is the 7th game, though. That's why it's funny.
That's the joke.
Is that it is the 7th game. But it's also...
What's killing me...
But it's a sequel to Victory as well. So it's Victory 2 and also the 7th game. Cute.
I saw someone call the Final Fantasy remake coming out next year VIIR, and I was just like, oh no. That acronym is taken, sorry.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do something else.
I think Final Fantasy owns it now.
Yeah.
Because we can forget about this version anyways.
Yeah, forget about this game. Like, if you're going to play Meganep, which by all means, please do, because it's a great game, play the original.
Yeah.
It's way better. This is just other than the graphics and like having the dumb VR stuff, this is a downgrade in every conceivable way. Like there's just no way I could fucking rub my face against this stupid game for the 20 more hours it would take me to finish it just to see if it gets better, because I
don't think it would.
There's no way it does. There's just no way it does, because
especially when the Golden Third chapter already is kind of rough.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like, the Golden Third chapter
is grind the shit out of 2 characters.
Having to grind with characters that like in a chapter that is the weak part of the game, like yeah. Like,
Colin asking, did someone with a grudge against Polly infiltrate an Idea Factory with the goal of making her hate Neptunia?
That you would think so.
Look, they may be called Idea Factory,
but they've had doesn't mean all the ideas are good.
We just make ideas. We make a lot of them.
We make a lot of ideas. They're all coming out. We can't stop them.
They put them all in this game.
We got good ideas. We got bad ideas. Probably more bad ideas these days.
Have y'all heard? I only heard this from a couple places. I couldn't really cite it. Do Japanese players call Idea Factory Idea Fuck? Because it's kind of known as a sort of a janky dev.
I don't know, but like that would not surprise me at all. Yeah.
Oops Factory.
Oops Factory. I'm on board with Oops Factory. Yeah. Like, we oops that one. We oops and fucked up Mega Dimension Neptunia somehow.
Look, the quality is a little iffy.
Huh.
Aha! I see what you did there. Because they're called Idea Factory, and the initials are IF, right? And it's if, but then...
And there's actually a character.
The character, her name is IF, but they call her Iffy. Mm-hmm. So if you say it's Iffy, haha, it's like two things at once.
I just wonder if they're ever going to do like a proper Neptunia 5, and after this, what that is even going to look like.
Yeah, like
if they can't even recognize a good thing when they have it.
Yeah. Like all we know is that like there's probably some weirdo action game they're working on now. That they revealed like a logo for it earlier this year.
I think it was like Ninja Neptune or something.
Yeah, Ninja Action Neptunia or something.
Right.
Like, oh boy.
Neptunia Gaiden Sigma.
It's probably fucking Tamsoft working on it again. You're just gonna get like some kind of boring upgrade of Cyber Dimension. Man, y'all just think maybe this series is bad.
No.
Yeah, I do. I kind of did when I played the first one.
Oh no, here we go. Hot takes coming through.
Sorry, that was just very funny.
There's the main 4 games, which are the remakes of the original 3, and then the original version of the 4th one.
Yeah.
And those are good, except for Rebirth 2. So.
And Rebirth 2 is not awful, it's just...
It's the weakest.
Story goes kind of weird.
It's the weakest.
Yeah.
And it's got that really weird fucking, like, character that it's just gross. He's like, I'm gonna lick the children. Like, oh boy, this is real fucking weird. Please, Japan, stop.
The character that made me drop the anime originally.
Yeah.
I really like the fighting in Rebirth 1. I thought it was very fun.
I think
at least you found something.
I think that their combat systems are usually nice, crunchy, and kind of easy to get into, and you know, generally pretty snappy. And then this game's like, no, we want it to be real fucking slow. We want it to be a slog.
It's like in the old ones, maybe you'd be like, no, thank you. Not when the very good, snappy, like legitimately challenging at times fighting was like the main thing I got out of that first game.
Yeah. Keep in mind though
go ahead.
That's a remake of the first game, but it uses the combat from the original version of 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original Neptunia, the combat is
it is slow, it is janky, like
and it's
everything,
RNG.
And it's 100% RNG because you don't get to determine when items are used. You have to set a percentage.
What?
Yeah, like you get item skills, which is kind of like this game in a way, but it's different. In the very first game, you get item skills, and you have a certain number of points that you can distribute to using an item in a certain situation. So, like, if a character is less than 40% HP, then she'll use an item.
Maybe.
Yeah. And you can never, and you can't make them 100% of the time. It can only go as high as 80%.
So, like, can you do, like, if character is down, use revive item 80% of the time?
80% of the time.
Great.
It's like smushing together the gambits with Unlimited Saga.
Yeah, it's like that first game's systems are some weird Saga shit. Because like there's also this system of how the planets are constantly orbiting as you progress in time, and if you need to go do something on La Station and it's not in Planet Neptune's orbit, you can't go to it. So you have to fucking wait until La Station hits orbit.
Wow.
Like, it is bonkers fucking weird.
I've never dropped a game so fast, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. See, that's why I gave it to you, Rhett.
Because I like...
You got the Paper Mario one, just like... But the Neptune one, I was like, nope! Oh, that's funny.
It's so bad. Yeah, don't play Victory 2R. It's real poopy.
The worst part is if it ever goes on cheap enough sale on PlayStation,
you're gonna buy it.
I want to see what the first couple VR things look like.
I think Big Nup is the first one you get.
That's good because it's really a risk, not a risk reward, but like, how much time do I want to spend playing the bad version of the game versus getting the VR scenes if they're good enough? Like, there's the cons outweigh the pros.
You can pause the scenes and look around. So if she does something and you need to get her to stop for a second, you can pause the scene.
Okay, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing then.
Oh yeah,
because like one of the last things you unlock in Dead or Alive is just freeze frame.
Oh,
they know exactly what
they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know what you're looking at.
When you play PlayStation VR, does it show up on the TV?
You can turn the TV off.
Okay, but if somebody walks up while you're there and turns the TV on, is it immediately visible?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that ever a fear?
No.
Okay, I know. I'm just kidding. That's just very funny.
Really is.
I mean, in theory, you could actually just hook the PlayStation up to the VR and not have a TV in the system at all.
Yeah, it would still work.
Yeah, like the VR will double as a TV.
Mm.
When it's really surreal putting that thing on because like you see the TV screen in the VR, like, and it's positioned pretty close to where mine is, and you just realize like that's not actually my TV I'm looking at. That's the VR version of the TV.
God, that's funny.
I love those weird disassociations with VR. It's
it's very interesting.
I've mentioned this before, but in Super Hot VR, you put on a VR helmet by actually like raising your hands up and lowering them over your head.
Yeah,
that's fucking strange feeling.
That would be weird
because you're already
you're already wearing the helmet. Bigger, yeah,
you're putting on a bigger one.
Life is good.
Video games, huh? Yeah. So RPGs suck.
Oh,
that's my fucking takeaway. That's
I mean, you're coming from.
That's my takeaway.
Right?
That's my takeaway.
Okay.
Maybe look. Maybe there's hope for RPGs.
Maybe
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe later in this episode, right?
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know.
Maybe after a 5-minute break.
Maybe after a 5-minute break. We will be right back.
Cool. Hello?
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 Hello, I have nachos.
You have nachos?
Yeah,
Dude, why don't I have any?
you didn't make any.
Not sure I agree with that.
I'm supposed to bring them to you?
You are, yes. This is what the contract says. Very disappointed.
Sorry.
This will be going on your end of the year podcast host evaluation.
I can't hear you over all these nachos.
Yeah?
It's a great way to record a podcast.
Oh, yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. It's the ASMR age. That's what people tune in for. Everybody loves that shit, that new wave, hippie fake bullshit. All right, chat, what is your favorite kind of cheese? Let's go. Pepper Jack is not a cheese, Jetstorm.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not a cheese. It's an abomination.
Cheddar Jack.
What?
What, isn't Cheddar Jack a thing?
Monterey Jack.
Oh, whoops.
Cheddar Jack. I like Cheddar Jack cheese. My name is Rhett. I'm very cultured.
Did somebody say hippie fake bullshit?
Yeah, hippie fake bullshit. Like ASMR. That thing people think they like, but they just want to sound cool. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm really deep. Listening to sounds touches me on a spiritual level.
I think it's literally just like... Well, I think it's a fetish for a lot of it.
That's basically it. But people can't just say, I got
doing
a
it
fetish.
now.
Oh, the tingles.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Honestly, God, like, nothing actually creeps me out faster than, like, well done ASMR.
It's so...
It's so fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it just makes me really uncomfortable. Like, that's all it accomplishes for me. Is it's like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear your gross mouth sounds, thank you.
I think that's how it is for a lot of folks. Is like, if you hear somebody chew in your ear, it's not a good feeling.
Like, I work around high-fidelity microphones all the time, and oftentimes I have to listen to these things through very high-fidelity earphones. And I hear a lot of gross mouth noises on the daily already. And I can tell you what, in all the years I've been doing this, I still don't think I like it.
But they're definitely not doing it. Sorry.
So you're saying if somebody was really into ASMR, they should definitely go into audio engineering.
Oh, go for it.
Things be coming on the reg at work.
Yeah?
It's like, yes.
True perk of the job right there.
Or you say, Rhett?
At least they're not, like, doing it intentionally, though, like, for 20 minutes.
Yeah, like, don't ever let somebody know that their mouth noises weird you out, because they'll just start doing it on purpose.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I made that mistake early in my career. Like, yeah, you're making a little sound when you're saying a thing. Could you not do that? And then, look what they've decided to do for the next 4 takes.
Fucking great.
It's like, great, you're wasting my time and yours. I get to be much more of a bitch about those kinds of things these days, though, being that I am the head engineer. So,
I think Rhett's next.
Rhett's eating nachos.
Yeah. No, I'm done.
Okay.
If your eargasm lasts longer than 4 hours, please contact your doctor.
Hey, Rhett!
Hey!
You got something else you want to talk about? Hopefully that's better than Mega Dimension Craptunia.
Craptunia. Hey, that's pretty good.
It is, isn't
More
it?
like Hyperdimension Craptunia. John actually copyright John. TM.
I figured I was already like deep enough in the shit. What's the word? The word that means I'm in your crap book. I'm in your shit.
You're in my shit
I'm
list?
on your shit list.
Yeah.
I was already enough on your shit list that I couldn't go do any worse.
I don't know. That one was
I
like...
finally fast
You've
that I
been
like
fucking
didn't
hanging on to that for like 5 years.
Yeah, like
oh,
that.
by the way,
You had the restraint to hold that back after all the shit that I've dumped on you. And it just tosses it out into the ether one day, just completely out of nowhere. And just decimates worlds.
I just didn't give a shit about anybody in Neptunia Rebirth 1. I didn't feel anything at the big true ending either. It was just like...
Don't you feel bad for him? He can't like good things.
Ugh.
He's just busy continuing to play Fate Grand Order.
Yeah.
Hoping eventually it will barely touch the original VN.
I don't know, man. I think I opened a door to different thinking about that earlier, though.
Yeah.
Oh no!
About how it's just mass-produced garbage, and it's never going to live up to what the original made you feel because it has to appeal to a larger audience now.
The next 2 chapters are by Nasu. They're by the original creator. I'm pretty sure they're gonna
totally
be
real good. I bet.
And they're the ones that are getting adapted. They like had 5 chapters, and then they just were like, well, fuck all that. We're going to adapt these 2.
They're adapting them because Nasu wrote them. They're not adapting them based on quality. It's
definitely quality. I assure you.
But Nasu wrote them.
I really fucking bet.
Anyways, so you're 5 arcs into Grand Order now?
Yes.
You said something like, that was the best one yet. Still not good, but...
It's about 30 or 40 hours of game, I think.
Oh my god. Just
stretched out over a full year.
Quote unquote.
It's also just a sunk cost thing, because if I've played 4 of the bad ones, like,
might as well.
And then the 5th one was like twice as long, and I was just like, oh, okay.
But it was better. Still not good.
Not good. It was functional.
Desperately grasping at these straws.
There are definitely words here and text boxes that appear on the screen every time I press the next button.
The text boxes don't feel good in Fate Grand Order. The text boxes feel bad. You can't like it. If there are more than 2 lines of text on the page, then it just scrolls onto the text on the screen and then automatically scrolls the next line on. There's no button prompt, and if you mash, then it just immediately skips the first line.
That's bad.
After like 15 hours, I did find there's a way to speed up the text speed so that the crawl was almost functional, but it's still too slow. Oh, the text boxes feel bad.
You gotta make text boxes.
$2 billion.
$2 billion, and these are the fucking text boxes we get.
How we solved this? This is a solved problem for 30 years. We've known how to do text boxes. And gacha games can't even do that. I hate it.
There was something I was going to say, and then the text boxes made me forget. Oh well.
Sorry. The next one's going to be good, though. Also,
I'm sure it will be.
It's an Nasu one. It's Camelot. It's going to be all King Arthur stuff, and then the one after that is Babylonia. It's going to have
why are they doing the anime for Babylonia first, then?
I don't know.
Wait.
They're doing Camelot as movies and doing Babylonia as a series.
Oh.
So I don't know.
So they're not even going in order?
No, they're not. It's not. It doesn't matter. There's very little overarching plot. It's like doled out in like they have like an eyedropper. They have like. Are y'all familiar with homeopathy? Where it's bullshit. Where they have like a big pitcher of water and they drop one thing of medicine in it, and then they shake it up, and then they take one drop of that and put it in water.
Yeah.
And they shake that up.
Yeah.
And then Fate Grand Order's like that, but with plot. Fate Grand Order's like that, but with good. It's fine.
They're taking the original visual novel, taking a drop of it, shaking it up into a pitcher, taking another drop.
Rhett, you were going to say something. We weren't going to talk about Fate Grand Order and how it's myriad disappointments.
No, I like rubbing your nose in it a lot.
That's fair.
Actually.
Okay, fair.
This is like Rhett is still salty about that Neptunia take, and he's taking every chance he can get. And he's taking every chance he can get to rub your face in it.
Well, are we gonna dig into it, Rhett, about how our friendship was?
No. Honest to God.
how our friendship was almost irreparably harmed this week.
I said no, we're not doing that.
We're not.
I remembered what I was gonna say. Is that Neptunia, just like the throwing out? By the way, I never liked Neptunia. That was like a breakup line.
Yeah, that's like the line you say when you are getting ready to slam the door shut. I never liked your titty game anyway.
That's really what it felt like. Just like, by the way, I got nothing on Neptunia.
Like, not liking Symphogear was that was the breakup, and then, oh, by the way, Neptunia sucks is the door slamming shut.
Yeah.
I was asking you earlier, which would you prefer? Like, if you had to choose between Neptunia or Symphogear, I'm just sitting there the whole time. That was before I revealed. Like, okay, so did you finish all of Symphogear before the last podcast?
Say that again. Sorry.
Did you finish all of Symphogear before the last podcast?
Yeah, I talked about season 5 last time.
Yeah,
oh, that's what I thought. Okay, so we weren't going to talk about Symphogear this time.
No.
I was kind of.
It's over.
Okay, it's over.
It's over.
All right. What else have you been up to, Rhett?
So this is a really weird one.
Okay.
I've been playing some fitness video games.
Oh, hey! I think I know. I watched somebody stream some fitness video game yesterday.
I saw a bit of that and was like, wow, he is going way harder than I do. But I will say, I said fitness video games.
You got more than one. More than one.
Got more than one. I briefly kind of hinted at one of them a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game on PlayStation VR.
Oh!
It's called Box VR.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is a boxing game.
Yep.
And is explicitly designed as a fitness thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where, it gets you moving your arms really a lot, basically, where you're doing either, quick straight jabs, kind of uppercuts, or like to the sides. Mm-hmm. And then a couple moves where it can tell if you're squatting or not. So it'll have you squatting, leaning left and right. And it's pretty basic because that's about all you do. But I will say this game, it gets me really sweaty for some damn reason.
Because
it's really fast and like it's a good cardio workout because it's like gets me sweaty almost immediately. The problem is I don't like the music in it like at all.
Oh, yeah, that can be a real bummer.
And like obviously because it's very similar in structure to something like Beat Saber. But Beat Saber isn't specifically like this is specifically designed as an exercise game, like and how it's paced and how like long the levels are, and like it has like playlists of like, okay, if you wanted to go for like 15 minutes, we've got a playlist for that. But then I just don't really enjoy playing it at all, unfortunately. So that's about it for that. I'll probably get back to it because I think it is a good complement to the other game, which is, as people have figured out, Ring Fit Adventure. I think that's the actual name of it.
Yeah, it's Ring Fit Adventure. What is Ring Fit? Right? What the hell is Ring Fit Adventure, Rhett?
That is Nintendo taking their third stab at a fitness game.
It sounds like they got it this time.
I think they've always got it. I just never played the first two. So there's Wii Fit.
Wii Fit. Yeah, I actually played a bunch of that. Our family got into that.
So my mom has that. It's in the basement right now. There's a balance board. I've never touched it, though.
That's where all balance boards are now.
Yeah.
I was like, I've got Punch-Out. I could technically play that dumb mode where you lean instead of using the D-pad to move.
I've played that. It's not responsive. It doesn't feel good at all.
I had a feeling it wouldn't. Also, with as hard as that game gets on the second loop, would probably also be impossible.
Yeah.
But it'd be funny to play the first couple bosses with that.
Like it's neat that the way that it's reacting like for the first 30 or 40 seconds, and then you get to like the second round, and it's like, oh, this doesn't feel real good.
Yeah, it clearly that kind of motion tracking.
Yeah,
it's not even motion tracking; it's weight tracking.
Yeah,
like that's not going to be what you need.
No,
but it's a neat thing that they added into a game that didn't need to have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm aware of Wii Fit. I know nothing about the Wii U one. But so like this is kind of a spiritual successor to those, but obviously very different because you're using the big Pilates ring now. But what I think is interesting is how like Nintendo has been doing these fitness games for a while, and like I think that really shows through in this game of just how like refined some elements of it are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a game. So you've got the two Joy-Con, the little remotes that come with the Switch. You strap one of them to your leg,
Oh.
and you put the other one in the wheel itself, and like that combo is like incredibly good for tracking you.
That's interesting. Yeah, it looked really responsive to me.
Yeah, it is shocking how like accurate and responsive it is. Like on the title screen, it shows a 3D model of the wheel, and you can rotate your physical wheel around, and it is like 1-to-1 perfect. I'm like,
wow,
shocked how good it is. It's like, wow, no wonder these Joy-Con are expensive, because they have like this fucking perfect gyro sensor in there apparently. Because all it asks you to do is lay it up flat on the ground once. Like the first time I played it, it says, hey, lay the ring down on the ground flat. And it doesn't even do that anymore. It just knows from now on.
That's awesome.
This is where it's... And like it doesn't even seem to ask anything with the one you strap to your leg. It's just like, okay, I know where the ground is. I'll figure it out.
That's interesting.
And like the only thing I don't like about that one is like people are saying there should be more Velcro on it, because it does kind of slip a bit and you have to pull it pretty tight. But also that's, if you have more toned legs, maybe it's
that could
will stay on better.
Yeah.
Like if you've, legs tend to get narrower further down, so it naturally wants to slip, which is the problem. But yeah, the fact that they've only got 2 points of tracking, and yet they're able to make you do all these exercises and like have a good enough idea that you're doing it right, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching the stream yesterday, and it looked like it was really picking up what dude was doing very accurately. Yeah,
it really has like good tracking for the most part. Like I've heard a few people saying like, oh, there's like a planking one that it kind of sucks at, but like in general, it's really, really accurate.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And like, so there's this adventure mode, and for like the main kind of levels, you run in place, but you can also do a silent mode, which is kind of you squat in place so that you're not banging on your floor as much.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that one because I don't want to be making a racket up here.
Yeah, obviously.
But then the weirdest thing about this game is you get into battles with enemies, and you have to attack them by doing different fitness poses. So it's like, oh, like for this one, you'll do like lift the ring over your head and press it in, and like that'll do a red attack, and red enemies are weaker to red attacks.
Yeah.
And like the way this game is getting you to do all this stuff, and you're not really thinking too much about it. It's just like, oh, I'm just playing this video game. Oh, this game wants me to lay on the floor and do a knee to chest now? Sure, okay.
That's a normal way to control a video game.
Yeah, totally normal. But like again, with the tracking, the weirdest one to me is like, I'm like, is this actually good for you? Is like when you block an enemy attack, you like hold the wheel against your abs and press in, and it feels real strange. It's like, is this actually good for you? But it must be, because they're making you do it a lot.
There's a lot of those in Wii Fit where it's just like, is this actually exercise? I'm confused.
Or is somebody just having a laugh at me right now?
But I think what is interesting about this is that when you're doing these moves, it'll actually say like, oh, you're working these muscles now.
Yeah, yeah.
And like, that's interesting. And like, so after the first day of doing it, I was fucking sore as hell. I was like, I had clearly moved muscles I hadn't moved in ages or something.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I think it's an interesting counterpart to Box VR, where that game just kind of got me sweating. This game just makes me sore, basically.
Getting the whole 9 yards there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's typically how a workout goes. Like, the first few times, it's going to really suck after the first time.
Yeah.
And then after that, you just get used to it, and it doesn't really happen as much anymore.
It's just interesting, like, especially because I'm not doing the run-in-place thing, where it's just like I'm just doing kind of quick, small squats. Like, I'm working the muscles, but not really working up a sweat doing this.
Yeah.
But then I'm just fucking sore as hell afterwards. So I will keep up on that, and like I'm not super far in it. Apparently, it's pretty long. I've heard there's like 20 worlds, and I'm like on the third one.
Yeah, it's pretty long. They want you to have like a really long regimen, I think, and I think that, like and this game is like since everything's working as intended, I think that that's a really good idea.
Yeah, it seems cool. Hopefully, I will show some progress by the end of the year, maybe.
That kicks ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They even have like when you start, there's like a specific warm up stretching routine, and then there's a specific cool down stretching routine. Like they really, it feels like a fitness thing, but it's also like a good video game. It's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely looked like one of the more like convincing things that like could basically only be done on the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like it's a real damn good argument, I think, for that kind of use of Joy-Cons.
Yeah, it's also amazing that this is coming out like right after the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
so people have technically played this on the Switch Lite, but you would need another set of Joy-Cons because the Switch Lite's ones aren't detachable.
Yeah.
And then you're playing it on this tiny screen.
Not really ideal.
Yeah, I saw a good picture from like somebody said, "Oh my God, the boomers have invaded the Ring Fit page on Amazon." It's just people going, "Will this work on my Nintendo PlayStation? Is this for the Wii?" It's just like, oh geez.
Oh, there's
people who
Wii's.
have not picked up a video game in 10 years.
Yeah,
suddenly interested in this.
Pulling their Wii's out of the
sign.
closet. Oh my God.
Yeah. Is this on Xbox? Nobody said that.
That's a good sign that they are tapping into a market again. Like, oh, we made a lot of money with Wii Fit. Oh shit.
But also, this has like kind of an enormous startup cost where basically you want the proper system.
Yeah,
so it's $300 for a Switch and then $80 for this. Like, it's a bit steep, you know.
Yeah, it's
you're not gonna. I wouldn't necessarily say get a Switch just for this.
No. But I think that like if you are in the market for a Switch and you're getting it, you know, like it's definitely one of the games I think you should probably look at because it's something that is truly very unique to that console, and like you want something that can push the unique features of your new console, then there's your game right there.
Yeah, it's no 1-2 switch. It's for being like, hey, check out what the Joy-Cons can do. Like this one is, I'm shocked how good the tracking is. Like it's so weird. Like I've played VR stuff. I'm shocked how good the tracking is.
Yeah,
because you know that they're not doing it with the camera. I'm just like, how are you guys doing this?
How is this approximated?
Yeah, like obviously it's just the motion in the gyro in the controller, but it's like, wow, you can do that perfectly, but you can't stop those joysticks from drifting, huh?
Yeah.
Luckily, I haven't had that issue yet, but
Wrecked.
I'm also a little worried because, like, slamming the left one into that leg strap is like, are you going to be okay in there? Because it's like pressing down the buttons, I think, while it's in there. I don't think the analog is getting hit because there's a little, like, slot it goes into.
Yeah.
Just from 4 asks, is it the camera? And I don't think so, because, like, what would it be looking at? Like, there's nothing on the TV like the sensor bar for the Wii. Plus, they're facing sideways on the. I don't think it uses the camera at all.
Yeah.
Because I know the VR stuff they did, like, not the VR, the Labo stuff would use the camera.
Yeah.
But I don't think this does at all.
Or maybe just use it in some weird way to approximate things that we don't know about.
It could.
But I'm not going to put my money on that.
If anything, Nintendo is genius at using their own hardware, so yeah.
Yeah, that's always the case.
Oh yeah, Sarah Raisin mentions after every stage it asks you to monitor your heart rate. That's how it's using the camera apparently, because you like put your finger in front of the camera on the.
Oh yeah.
And it goes, oh, you've got 112 BPM or whatever, and I'm just like, how are you doing that with the Joy-Con? Like Jesus.
Yeah, that's really
that's
cool.
the wildest shit.
Yeah.
And
that's nuts.
And then because like they've been doing like good fitness stuff for a while, they're like, oh, do you want to lower the difficulty? Do you want to raise it? Oh, it's like, oh, this is a good heart rate for, training endurance.
Yeah.
Like, it's got its chops when coming as a fitness game.
Yeah, like, I'm sure that they had fitness experts on, helping develop that kind of thing.
Yeah. Whereas, I think that's the point of comparison against Box VR, where it's just like, I don't know, here's a 20-minute level.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have that level of
granularity. And...
Yeah. Like, this game pops up tips on it, like, when you eat, try to eat the vegetables first. Like, what? Like, it's just kind of throwing out fitness tips all the time during load screens and stuff. The other thing is that the character that talks to you, like, is the Ring, and he's very energetic, and he's very into you getting fit.
Well, hey, you got, like, if you're gonna get fit, you got to have somebody good in your corner, right?
Because I think that's actually something people said is, like, good about this game, is that it is constant positive reinforcement, where he is just like, yeah, great, you're doing it, you got it. Whereas I've heard the Wii Fit games can be a little bit sarcastic at times.
Oh no! Way to go, fatty! Good job.
Yeah. Like, if you're off balance in that first game, and like it'll say something like, "Oh, you know, like, how old are you? I've estimated your age is 45.
I guess your left leg weighs more than your right. Oh, weird."
Yeah. So this game is and it's also a game about making numbers get bigger.
There you go. That's how you... Well, I mean, that's also very good for something like this. Is like, you know, getting your steps per day up and shit like that. People love that shit.
Well, there's also a whole meta layer of like JRPG stuff where you're actually leveling up.
Yeah,
getting equipment.
Yeah, it's like an actual...
At first I was just like...
It's a decently silly, fun-looking little RPG.
Yeah. But at first I was like, what is the point of all that? And then I realized, like, oh, it's just a psychological thing, like making numbers get bigger. Like, that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, it totally makes sense like that.
Like, that's really smart.
Yeah.
I've done a little more exercise this year than I have the last few, and it really makes a difference. It really just makes things a lot of things kind of easier and
cool.
Yeah, I remember when you started, you were a whiny babby because it hurt.
Yeah.
I remember.
I think I literally started doing push-ups because Shiro does push-ups in the VS.
Jeez, and then you started using the bow.
I'm gonna kill myself.
I saw a tweet.
I went to sign up for the intermediate class, but they're already in the fall where they are going to the indoor gym that's way far away from me, as opposed to the outdoor one that's a 10-minute walk.
Right.
So I'm gonna wait until next summer and then do the intermediate class.
Yeah, After Five's got a good point. I want to see somebody run Ring Fit at RPG Limit Break. That would be really good.
I don't think you could get through this game that quickly, like unless there's like a skip or something weird. Like, because I think if you're really good at it, it's just going to crank the difficulty up on you.
Yeah, probably. But that would be really good, though, just to like see somebody try.
I think Nintendo would hate that because they'd be like, "You're gonna faint.
You're gonna kill yourself, and it'll be our fault."
They don't want somebody dying playing this game. Like, I don't know if it's at 20 levels. Like, say it takes you like 20 hours to beat. Like, that ain't gonna happen.
No,
you're gonna be fucking dead. Anyway,
find the cutscene skip.
There's a weird amount of story. Like, there is a whole game here. It's so weird.
It's really neat.
So that's cool. That's
like, if I had a Switch, like this would be like I'm checking that out.
Yeah. If only you had a Switch.
Never gonna happen.
Why?
I've given up. No more consoles ever. I'm never buying another console.
Good thing you're not playing like a big RPG on a PS4 right now, because no more consoles.
Well, I'm considering like Trails of Cold Steel 4 comes out on PS4. I'm fine, but I'm considering not bothering with Final Fantasy VII Remake though, because it's just like, well, if the other ones are only going to be on PS5 and I'm not getting consoles anymore, why fucking bother?
They'll put it on PC eventually.
Yeah,
it's Square. They have everything on there.
Yeah,
but they'll just do it like 6 months later, so you buy it twice. Or so other people buy it twice.
You get the remastered edition.
That's what they did with the 15 PC version, and then they didn't actually finish that one.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my god, oh, now I'm mad again.
Oh no, oh no.
You can't wait till we give you guys these mod tools, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Final Fantasy 15 was a whole saga, huh?
That
The
game.
Lightning Saga.
Oh boy.
You know what I mean?
I think the Lightning Saga ended up better.
Yep, it definitely seemed to be. I'm still interested in more of that. Did not come off of F15 just like, oh, I desperately want more of this world.
John, you didn't even finish Lightning Returns.
I know.
You were like, this is so cool. Stop. Like, at least you finished 15. I think that does count for something.
That speaks for something. You're right. It was 2 years ago.
Look, I'm just saying Lightning Returns is a little janky, okay? It's not perfect. It's not a quote-unquote ideal experience all the time.
Wait, are you making fun of me or are you saying that earnestly?
I'm saying that earnestly.
Okay, that's fair. Okay. I thought the timer was just very, very lenient when I played
it. Oh, yeah,
it's
very lenient. It's like
not... I was like 2 days into the 13 one and I'd done 2 of the 4 challenges. Just like, oh, wait a minute.
It's very doable.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm saying it was too lenient. It wasn't stressful at all. I was just like, okay, yeah. It's just an RPG.
Yeah.
So, Polly.
Yo!
Speaking of RPGs, what have you been playing?
We're already back to me, huh?
I think Red skipped me.
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's fine. That's fine.
Wait.
Yeah.
We'll skip it. We'll skip John. It's probably not important anyway. It's probably
I honestly don't even remember the original order.
It's probably because we just talked about dumb fate shit and we just tie that to John. Well, he already had his turn.
Okay. Look, I wanted to bring up Simple Gear G. I wanted to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, let's get that on the table. I'm ready. We'll get that on the table. We can put that on. We can bring that out for discussion.
Look, Polly, what have you been playing?
Look, Brett. Polly and I had beef that we had to face down on this podcast.
Exactly.
I feel like this beef we need to address this
get it out there.
Because I feel like this was a legitimate rift for a little bit. Like I remember we were DMing every day for like several days, and then there's like a moment after the
I'm
a tweet
up receipts right now
where he just went dead silent on me for like a day and a half. I was just like, oh man. This is gotten a little serious.
I think John's honestly afraid he's losing a friend here.
There was like a legitimate line where I was actually starting to get a little bit stressed. So I finished Simple Gear G, the second season. I didn't like it, and I kind of, in retrospect, was like, I didn't really like the first season either.
Oh, traitor!
That's traitor! That's what really hurt Red, I think, because he he was okay with me not liking the second season, but like he was clinging to. I had said that I liked the first season. I had said that. I said that on the podcast. I said that on the forum. And then I was like...
I'm looking at the DMs where you said it.
Uh-huh. And then I was like going back on that. Just like, he actually looked at my anime list thing and said, was Simple Gear 1 always a 5? I was like, no, I changed it. Why?
Polly, am I crazy here? He didn't like season 2, then goes back and lowers his score for season 1.
And that really teased you off. And there was like a series of things where I was completely measured, like saying, oh, I didn't really like it, but I really like these things about it. I liked XYZ, I liked this relationship, I liked this part of the aesthetic. And then you were like, well, that sounds like you liked it then. And then I was just like, I was completely bored the entire time I watched it. I was desperate for it to end. I never got sucked up in the action or the emotion of the scene.
Just watching that time remaining on every episode. That was the most
literally like that. It was so sad. And then things kind of progressed from there. And I think a lot of folks here would really dig it. I think Frez would really dig.
Yeah, I'm basically pinning all my hopes on him now. You were not the chosen one.
I was not the chosen one. I think Astolfo started. That seems like a good fit to me. I think a lot of folks here would really like Simple Gear. If you like idol shows, it definitely should be your jam. I think if you like Sailor Moon, it should be your jam. I saw that thing you posted where it was like Simple Gear was at the center of magical girl shows, and it had Sailor Moon, and then Mega shows, and it had Gundam, and then it had idol shows and Love Live, and then the perfect center was Simple Gear. Yeah. And then halfway between mecha shows and magical girl shows with Nanoha, and I was just
Perfect.
like, okay, so Nanoha's the good show, and then when you introduce the idol Poison into it, it gets dragged down towards the evil hell corner.
The repulsive Love Live.
The repulsive Love Live.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that finds it repulsive. Why are they fucking singing?
Why do they look like weird dolls? I hate it.
They all have They have the same face shape. You just paste on a different hairstyle.
Like monsters. It's like a horror show.
What have I done to deserve this?
Look, I have to put up Rad. Come on. We can have this every now and then, right? I deal with it a lot, I think.
I think it's fair that we dump on so much of John's shit that you can take one for the team every now and again, right?
Can I read some DMs that John sent on September 4th when he finished the first season?
Oh, God. Okay, continue.
Oh, my God.
Perspective.
Okay, these are all sent September 4th when he finished the first season. Oh, my God, it's going so hard, and there are still 2 episodes left. It's so good. All right, rehydrated from crying. Let's finish this.
What the fuck? What's going on here? Wait a minute.
Also, the music suddenly got really good for these last few episodes. Suddenly, the gimmick works. LOL, Symphogear rules. Skipping down a bit. Okay, so you finished the season now. This is the one that killed me. It's really wild that the show is as low as it is on Mal. What bee got in their bonnet about it? And that, to the point, the show has a 7 on my anime list.
I haven't given it a 5.
And then, 2 months later, John Lowish just scored a 5. Like, what the fuck?
Look, Red,
You clearly liked it, though.
It wasn't the show. It was that your journey was so beautiful. It was so, like, lovely, and I just was enjoying it so much from the outside that I wanted to be a part of it. And I just couldn't. I tried. I tried to be a part of your world. Because it's so beautiful from the outside, and I'm going to continue enjoying it from the outside. I have never resented a frame of you tweeting about Symphogear and engaging with Symphogear, because that's lovely to me.
Yeah, people being excited about things is awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. It was just actually trying to engage with the show, the story, that just bummed me out.
You seemed 100% fine with season 1, though.
Yeah, that seemed like pretty goddamn high praise for season 1.
The thing, all right.
Do I want to read? You've got forum posts here as well. Oh, what's this? I cherish Hibiki.
You started the fucking Symphogear thread.
Yeah. January. Not January.
Because I hadn't watched it yet. I was watching it. Oh, everyone loves Symphogear. Let's make this mega thread.
No, you were.
I hadn't started the first season. I started it as a joke because I knew it would be like a thread for just Red. I thought it would be funny.
But then you posted while watching season 1.
Yeah.
Here you wrote, 4 episodes left. This show kind of snuck up on me. I care so much about Miku, Hibiki, Tsubasa, and Chris. Their problems and the way they wrestle with them feel decently honest to me. There's a sort of not quite there-ness to the whole thing, but I definitely care, and that counts a lot. And then a day later, I finished the season and cried a lot. Like I said above, I care about the core cast, and they go really hard for the last few episodes. I want to watch more.
Look, the thing is that the first season was bad in a way that would be very charming.
I actually agree with that.
If it was the start of something new, of something like that I really liked. Like if it was the beginning and then they kind of ironed out those edges, not the edges, they ironed out the like kinks and weird and bad having no foreshadowing, having no rules to the magic, having no plotting, having no anything, having no threads, just being kind of stream of consciousness, like fanfic posted chapter by chapter with no
really
editing.
Is that. Season one's a mess.
And if it was just that, and then they kind of got better, then that would be ridiculously charming. But then I watched season 2, and I was like, oh, this is just kind of how it's going to be, huh?
No, see,
even though season 2 is more together, it has more threads. Like, I figure that's what you're going to say. What are you going to say?
I think season 2 is them ironing out the rough edges until you can see, oh, this just isn't a show I'm into. Like,
yeah,
I don't like the part where they sing, and I don't like the part where they fight. Oops, that's the entire show.
And it still, like, wasn't doing the writing stuff I really wanted. Like, the Hibiki Biku relationship, like, they weren't doing anything with it. Like, the best episode in the show was the one where they make them fight, and then, but the way they do that is with, like, a mind control plot device, and it's completely contrived and hacky, and it just was like, oh, this is what I wanted, but they're not doing anything with it. So even though this is, like, I'm really enjoying this, I'm just, like, angry because I want so much more.
It's like, nobody's dead yet. What is up with this? Everybody's singing and nobody's dead.
Because you see, Rhett, the thing is, I also was in a Discord with 3 other people that didn't like the show.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I was about to bring this up. This is my final leg punch.
And I was live blogging with them the whole time, and then I was, like, taking that live blog and then filtering it and cleaning it up so I could have nice comments for you.
No, see,
and
you didn't say anything about the season until you finished it, and then you just went, I didn't like it. And I was like, what? What?
Like, well, I guess I
like clearly fucking blindsided.
After I cleaned up the mean parts, there wasn't anything left.
Yeah.
Here's something I wrote. In utter fugue state misery boredom for 40 minutes watching Simple Gear, and then violent thing happens and I wake right back up. I'm not a complicated person. They should make shows that are all violence without the boring parts. And I wake back up, and a violent thing happens, and then they immediately undo it. The next, like, 2 minutes.
I'll give you that one. That was such a bummer.
And then they introduce a new sad threat, and then that's undone, like, 2 episodes later. There's no problem that is not immediately overcome. They just introduce conflicts and then resolve them, and then introduce conflict and then resolve it. It's
a magical girl show. Overcoming conflict is what they do.
Nanoha was so much better, though. I loved.
Hey, Rhett, did you ever see Puella Magi Madoka Magica?
That's a deconstruction of the magical girl show.
I wasn't even going to be mean to bring up Madoka, which is very good. Nanoha, though, like, Chris is just shitty Fate. I hate that.
Damn!
She's just Fate from Nanoha, but, like, with none of the work. They didn't earn it. So that was my Simple Gear. I had kind of a bad time with season 2.
Y'all keep talking for
y'all
keep talking for another few minutes.
Okay. Wait, no. We just have to pause because I was about to say something too Polly.
Oh, okay.
Shit. You liked season 1, goddammit.
I did. And then, but it was just kind of like, I think we kind of hit it where it's just like, once they fixed all the really, like, amateurish stuff, the thing that was left was like, oh, I don't actually like this.
Yeah.
And that kind of...
It becomes Neptunia with singing.
Yes, and it became Neptunia with singing. That's like the whole time I was just kind of comparing in my head with Neptunia, where I was just like, not really feeling this, not really feeling these characters or these conflicts or anything.
It's so sad because I loved having the Symphogear adjacent friend that I could DM during seasons 4 and 5.
You can keep DMing me. Like, I love it. I love all
Okay, because you seem so mad about this series.
No, I have zero. I basically, like,
you literally said, my friend said also hate Symphogear. When you said the hate word, I was just like, oh, this is fucking over.
Oh. No, like, I immediately went into, like, looking up into, like, the mobile game, like, DMing you, like, songs and events from the mobile game that sounded, like, really cute.
That also ended up driving me crazy, where you're like, oh, but I like the one Miku song in season 2, and I'm like, well, that's something.
Yeah, I love that Miku song. That was a good track. because again, like that was my favorite episode of the show, was the
Yeah.
one where they actually make Miku fight, and I said that, and then my other friends who watched the whole show told me whether or not she ever becomes a magical girl again, or for how long she does, and if she does, how long it is, and how late it is. And it was just like, okay, I'm done.
You're not gonna like that answer. I know that.
Because she's like the one character I really just connected with. I think I called her.
Oh yeah. The other thing is Polly back yet?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. The other thing I was real grumpy about. You watched season 2 and your immediate reaction, the first thing you said was, "What if Miku was a guy?"
Oh no. Okay, you can't take that out of context.
That was weird.
That kind of weirded
That was
me
a little
out.
weird.
No. You cannot take that out of context. Please
Okay.
don't. That's nasty. It was just like, I listened to a male vocal cover of the song that was really good, and it was just like kind of thought experiment. I didn't think that would make it better. I'm not anti very good cute gay relationship. It was the fact.
It was just.
I get why that's weird though. I understand.
It was just weird being that like kind of your first main takeaway that I saw was like, wait, you hated the show and you think one of the gay girls should be a guy.
No.
Okay.
That would be what the kids call problematic.
No, I wasn't doing a problematic, I promise.
Okay.
The thing is that Miku is like this completely passive stay-at-home mom for the whole show, basically. Who never does anything. So it made I listened to the male vocal cover, and then I thought, that's really obnoxious with her being a girl. Like, in a way, if there's a boyfriend character who is the really passive, like, damsel, there would almost be a subversive edge to that. Right. But it wouldn't be more subversive than just having a very cute gay love story like they have now.
Gotcha.
So that was the thought experiment.
Okay. That is a much better light than was shown on that statement.
I know. Me. That's why I was immediately just like, no wait.
The final thing I was grumpy about.
Okay.
I swear, I came ready for this one.
Thank you. I told you
we were ready to just sunlight have it out.
Sunlight is the best disinfectant. We have to address this so that we can move forward with our friendship, Brett.
The other thing I was very grumpy about is how when you were talking to me, you loved season 1 apparently, and then you went on your Discord with your grumpy mean friends. Because you watched season 1 when I was on 3, and like during that time between then, season 5 finished, the finale of the show, and a bunch of your Discord friends started going, "Oh, Symphogear finished. I watched all 5 seasons and hated it." These guys, I don't know who they are, and thank God. They have bad takes on video games, and they have bad takes on anime. They watched all 5 seasons of the show while hating it, and they poisoned your mind.
I bet one of them's Austin.
Probably.
Oh. So
you hung around with a bunch of people that didn't like it, and then all of a sudden you don't like it, and then suddenly you lower your score for season 1 2 months later.
I understand how that looks bad.
Yeah, it's not a good look, Chief.
It was. I promise it was honest. It was just like it was finding my people. After feeling like lost in the darkness, I'm like, was this good? I guess.
And then you listen to people that said it's not good.
And then I found them. I found my cohorts, my people. And we could actually just talk, and then I could say things like being in utter fugue state misery boredom, which is a great turn of praise. And then calling Miku an Astolfo like light in the darkness. I liked it more than Fate Apocrypha. It's better than Fate Apocrypha.
That's not a bar to be proud of.
Nothing.
That's nothing.
It's like, yeah, you're one step better than living in a house made of shit.
I made a couple other jokes. I'm glad you're not holding over me. So
you inexplicably said season 2 was better than 1.
Yeah, it was.
Which it is, but you liked 1 more. Just admit it.
Yeah, I liked 1 more because I didn't know yet that I didn't like it.
Those tears meant nothing.
They meant that you can make Google commercials make me cry, Rhett. Tears don't mean anything.
Wow.
That's not the purpose of stories, is to wring tears out of me. Avengers did that. I can come out. I can cry, and then I can come out of a thing and be like, "Oh, I did not care for that."
I'm laughing so hard, y'all are gonna make me cry.
Polly, you should watch Simple Care.
Polly, I think you'd love Simple Care.
Oh. I can't fucking breathe.
I think that's it.
I watched that Hibiki Miku fight. I found a YouTube search that was that, but there were no subtitles. And then I was watching it just like, just like with Fate Apocrypha, I realized this is my ideal way to watch this show. I can just kind of watch it and project whatever story I want onto this really nice fight. And they're singing, and it's like, oh, this is cool. Oh, that's also the one where the poison in her is like stabbing out of her body, and it's very good. And it's immediately resolved. It's fine. It's fine. All right, I think that's my... So, can we still be friends?
Yes.
Okay. You can still DM me.
I was so worried yesterday. I'm like, I have like a fucking treasure trove of Hibiki and Miku art, and John doesn't want it anymore.
Send it all to me, please. I retweeted some. I was the one you DM me. I like shared that on May. Like, yes, everybody has to see this. Hibiki, because that. I'm
like,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, go.
That was like the thing. That actually might be why I like season 1 more. Is that there's more time on Hibiki and Miku's relationship, and I think they earned that. I think that works. I don't think it pays off in terms of like the big climax because they're more focused on the core three's relationship, but like the conflict where like she is a magical girl and that prevents her from going to see the meteor shower with her girlfriend who's her sunflower. Like that was good. That worked. And that's something season 2 didn't have as much of. So I think that might be why I connected a lot with season 1.
It's just probably still like laughing, crying.
I think I'm good.
So you please
it's all good.
It's all good.
You can absolutely DM me that. I will love it. I will share it if possible.
I thought I was actually going to Polly next, but then you took over with Simple Care. I didn't think we'd be talking about this show again. This is like 6 episodes in a row.
It was necessary, Red. We had to.
I thought it was going to end nicely with me loving season 5 at the end.
Here's here in the Sockscast, we solve our problems.
Yeah.
In public for all to see.
Yes. I think that is the mature way to handle it.
Yeah, have your friends on a podcast, roast them, and then hold them accountable for the sin of not liking the thing that you liked. I think that's fair.
It's not that he didn't like season 2. It's the post-re-evaluation of the first one that drives me nuts.
I'm going to blow up the moon! The villain's backstory reveal!
John.
Oh my god.
They pay all that off in season 5.
They pay it all off in season 5!
It's amazing. The show's so good.
They've been setting up the dominoes. They've been setting up completely disconnected dominoes, and then in season 5 they put in the several key dominoes, and then all goes off at once.
Playing 4D. They were playing 4D chess the whole time.
The whole time. I watched when I come back around and then say that Camelot and Babylonia make Fate Grand Order worth it, you can hold that over me.
No, I already laid the other trap for you, but we'll get to that eventually. I'm not even going to remind you what it was.
Oh no.
Oh shit. I don't know what this was. Okay.
Why is Polly finding this so funny?
I don't think we usually disagree this that much.
This is one of the funniest fucking disagreements ever. It's a fucking cartoon, you big babies. Grow the fuck up.
It's not even like it's evil.
I know, but that's what drives me nuts is when you're listing like, well, it's better than Flip Flappers and Fate Ilia, which are like actually evil.
Which are actually actively evil.
Well, that's what I thought you were going to hold over me, is that I did make a joke that Ilia was better.
Ugh.
I'm not even acknowledging that as something you truly believe.
Ilya is evil. It is so bad.
I got so mad I called it child porn.
Yeah, it's literally that bad.
Yeah, it is that. That is what it is. It's real bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the fighting is better than Symphogear, but whatever. It's very bad. It's very evil.
It's evil.
Sorry. It's completely evil, and Symphogear is not evil. It's very nice.
That's the thing. It's too nice for you. Where's the stuff? Hasn't anybody died yet?
Watches Nanoha like, oh.
It's like I'm the one watching, saying, "Why is everyone singing?" And then John is next to me. Why hasn't everybody died yet?
How come they didn't commit to that character being permanently mutilated?
Well, just don't do it at all if you're just gonna.
I know.
Right.
That was.
I just like stakes, foreshadowing, rules, something. But that's something a friend said was like, I can do without no foreshadowing. I can deal with that. No rules to the magic. I can deal with that. No stakes. I can deal with that. It's all three at once. That's really hard for me to deal with, and that made me laugh. Okay, I think that's everything. You can keep DMing me. Polly!
Yo.
I have one other thing I can just get out of the way first.
Go ahead.
No, I guess Polly's not ready yet.
Go ahead, just say it.
I think this will be a nice palate cleanser for everybody. I played Devil May Cry for the first time.
Yes!
Hey, guess what, y'all?
Devil May Cry is real fucking good.
It's really good.
I love that tweet out of context the other night where you just said, "It's just Space Harrier again."
My aunt responded to that and said, "You know, John, I don't know what you're talking about most of the time, but I really like that you're just you can go look at it." My aunt responded, just like, "I don't know what you're talking about most of the time, but I appreciate that you're having so much fun."
Oh my god.
It was very sweet. She like never interacts with the tweets. Like she's like one of two family members, and I'm just like, okay, if you want.
Oh god.
It's just like, yeah, sure. So it does become Space Harrier again at some point, and it's magical. Yep. It's very
amazing.
good.
It's amazing.
I think that I have two comparison points, and I play cameo wise. I played Resident Evil 2, and I played Bayonetta, and then Devil May Cry is just like right in the middle.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Maybe Ark's a little more RE2 because it's.
I mean, it was originally meant to be RE4. So.
And it was only 3 years after RE2, and then Bayonetta was like 8 years later after Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And then with Beautiful Joe and Okami in between. I actually had the thought, I finished Devil May Cry, and I was like, I've played 3 Kamiya games. I completely loved all of them. Guys, what if Okami's good?
Oh,
no.
You never know. You might want to give that a... I like Okami. I think Okami is still pretty good. It's a slow game, but guess what? Mm-hmm. Trails in the Sky is a slow game.
That's true. Does he make you refight bosses? In Okami?
I can't imagine that it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it does.
Okay, then we're good. That was a thing I observed. Like both Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, they have and RE2. They all have these refights, but they're always like kind of recontextualized.
Yeah.
A lot, and then when it is just doing, and a lot of times the health bar will be a lot shorter. In one point in Bayonetta, you fight like the Act 2 boss, but it's in the Space Harrier mode, so it plays completely different.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I love that because that kind of thing just sort of gives a kind of a shape to the game and sort of a progression. Like, oh, this spider was so hard before, and now I'm just like.
Yeah, like your first interaction with that thing is it chasing you down a hallway, and you're just like, "Fuck this!" And you can actually beat him in that chapter.
Oh, weird.
And but then the actual fight, like, so you get those, like, I think it's just one chapter in between too. Like you start out one chapter and he's chasing you, and then it's like the very next chapter is the actual fight with him, I think.
It's actually wild. The fight comes first, and then he chases you.
Oh, right. Okay.
That first scene. So Devil May Cry is a 2001 PS2 game in which you explore a spooky castle and fight shadows. It's obviously the best game that fits that description. And you're Dante, who's half demon, kind of something, and he goes to this castle to beat up other demons so that he can beat the main demon who's trying to resurrect himself.
Yeah.
And it's a character action game.
It's a beat 'em up. One of the earliest examples of where we would use that term, but it's a beat 'em up with like, a rating system and advanced combo and comboing.
Yeah. And a rival battle, so that's how you really know.
And the rival battle's really good.
It's really good. All 4 of them, real good. I that was the one I spent like 2 hours on. Was just like, I want to beat this without using any lives and without using any health items, and then I did it, and it felt real good. So yeah, the spider fight is just that was apparently a big deal for a lot of
it was the big brick wall when that game came out. Like I even got stuck there for like 45 minutes when I first played it. I very vividly remember that Christmas day of just like, I'm stuck here for 45 minutes. I'm just gonna put in Metal Gear Solid 2 now. Because I got Devil May Cry and Metal Gear Solid 2 with it.
Those are 2 real fucking good games.
Yeah, that was a real fucking good Christmas.
Yep. So yeah, that first rival fight is so good because he like jumps between the different settings and you like chase him around this whole it's this whole castle outside area where you like climb up the wall, run along the wall, climb up again. It's a new area. It's just like there's a geography to the battle that's very satisfying.
Yeah, it just like the fight just continues to advance that way. Like it's one of the better fights and most memorable fights in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably my favorite individual encounter in the game, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's just really, and it's more varied than Bayonetta, I think. Like it's doing a lot less just like straight lock you in an arena for a while.
Yeah. Like there's a lot more freedom in running around the castle and enemies kind of just spawning in, but you can run past them.
Mm-hmm. And then like weird one-off set pieces.
Yeah.
And Resident Evil lock and key stuff.
Yeah, like that stuff being in there felt
very cute.
Yeah, it's really cute, and like they've managed to mostly keep it. So like it's still kind of maintained that as part of its identity, even if if it's not like as much as it was in the first one.
Mm-hmm. The camera pulls from Resident Evil a lot. It's 3D environments, but they pull from that vibe in a way that I really enjoyed.
Fixed cameras and. Yeah,
which even if, like you pointed out, it
good
breaks
and bad. It breaks a couple of the boss fights, and it's something I still don't think they've ever gotten the hang of just like there are just some boss fights in 3 that are just like, this doesn't need to be like this, or this doesn't work with this angle at all. Why did you do this?
I've only played Devil May Cry 4. And I was kind of surprised how much Resident Evil DNA I could still feel in it.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
Because like the second area in that game is like a big spooky mansion.
Yep,
excellent.
With locked doors.
Excellent.
And fixed camera angles, and I'm like, wow, this is. Boy, you think you would have evolved a bit maybe after 4 games, but I guess not. And then is 5 like totally free camera?
5
now?
Is free camera now.
I think they finally
and DMC Devil May Cry also had
we don't
free
talk
camera.
About that one.
Yeah, we do because it's still an okay game.
I know, but like as far as like the main development team, like that one's the Ninja Theory spinoff, right?
Yeah.
Did they go back to original devs or something for 5? I thought maybe the Ninja Theory they also did.
Yeah,
5.
the original like a Capcom internal team did Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so Ninja Theory got purchased by Microsoft in the meantime.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's wild to me that you're saying Devil May Cry is 2001. I'm like, I had no idea it was quite that old.
Yeah.
Especially when the 5th one just came out this year.
Yeah. It's a surprising amount of restraint in terms of sequels, given that series did have a following.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's only 6 total. That's pretty cool, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna.
John, it's 5 games. There's Devil May Cry 3, 4, DMC 5.
I'm going into Devil May Cry 3 next. I want to get the the momentum.
Yeah.
I want to keep the momentum going, and I know that if I play 2
it'll just kill you. It'll put the brakes on everything.
With that game,
they tried to make it appeal to a larger audience by basically sucking everything about the game that worked out of it. So it just like it has this really, it wants to have this really over the top personality, but it comes off as just real cringy and bad. They removed all of the difficulty. You can literally just shoot everything in that game and win.
Great.
Weird.
The story is bad. Like, they don't even acknowledge the story anymore. Like, DMC2 is completely written out of existence.
Weird.
Probably for good reason, honestly.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Mm-hmm. It's also 5.5 hours on How Long to Beat, which is even shorter than the first game.
Yep.
And it's easy. So
yeah,
if I wanted to satiate the curiosity, I don't think I'm gonna like it. It would just be like
I wouldn't do it.
I
wouldn't do it while I am like in hype mode for this series. I would. This would be like go pick it up later. It doesn't. You don't need this knowledge going forward.
No, I'm gonna go into 3 next. I might pick that up right after the podcast. Actually, awesome. I'm pretty hyped.
3 is so good. I replayed that this year and it was a blast.
Yep, I think that probably is what got my brain chewing on that. I was just like, I really want to play these games. Actually,
they're very good. They're very cheesy. Like they really don't take themselves. They
so
don't.
Good.
Like Dante is such a great protagonist just because he's a shitbag.
I love Dante.
He's just a goddamn teenager, basically.
I loved when the demon spider jumps down from the ceiling, gets right up at his face, and it's just like calling him an ant, and then he like taps him on the head and just says like it's
something about bad breath. It's something about him having bad breath, and he just patting him on the head. It's so dumb. It's so good. Dante has got a line for everything, and it's great.
Yeah, and he gets impaled through the chest like 2 or 3 times, and is just completely nonplussed.
Yeah.
The opening scene where he gets impaled, and then Trish throws the motorcycle at him, and then he's just like has a one-liner, and then shoots the motorcycle a punch and flings it back at her with the gun, shooting. Every cutscene is good. None of them overstay the cutscenes don't overstay the welcome. Yeah. I like the story. And then the climax is great. It has Space Harrier. and then it has a part where the boss's face and chest loom high over a tiny platform in front of them.
Feels
Which
good.
is how all action games have to end.
Yes, you got to do that every time.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it. So yeah, I really like this. I'm really excited to play more. This might wind up being. I can see this one being my favorite because it has kind of that most. I imagine it'll have like the most kind of Resident Evil. Vibe.
It's got the most Resident Evil vibe. It's probably just because like it kind of feels like it's the rougher version of this vision, whereas DMC3 is very pristine in everything that it's going for.
Whereas I can also see me liking that one a lot because like the most fun I had in the game was when it dug deep into the combos with Virgil.
Oh man, yeah. I feel like
DMC3 is probably going to have a lot of that.
Yeah, people tend to like DMC3, I hear.
Yeah, DMC3's got the fighting style system, and you'll probably have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I think they'll just I might just wind up where they both complement each other, with one being the like more eccentric and annoying one, and then 3 like being the very polished vision.
Yeah.
I think
I'll
like
just Symphogear versus Symphogear G.
Exactly. So I think I'll just wind up really adoring both of them and adoring Bayonetta, and who knows, adoring Okami, maybe. Who knows? I should play I'll probably play Beautiful Joe first.
Beautiful Joe's good. I like it.
Yeah.
And then I need to steal a Wii U at some point to play Wonderful 101.
That game's really cool.
I do too.
That game's really cool.
A fucking port.
I hate that I can't play that. I hate that it was taken from me. Someday.
That game is fun.
I might be at a point where I finished Beautiful Joe and I'll just be like, oh, I don't have any other Kami. Well, I guess I'll do Okami. I did not expect going into Devil May Cry to come out of it like, oh, maybe I do. I was like, hard. I came down on poor Maple just like, there is no force on God's earth that will ever make me even think about touching Okami. And then I was just like, well, maybe. I progressed beyond, like, I would rather get kicked in the dick every day for a week and then play Okami. I'm very anti-Zelda right now.
Yeah, probably.
I play Okami because I played it and it's fucking boring.
Oh my god. Get out of here.
I mean, yeah, that was the vibe I was kind of worried about. So, but also, I kind of trust Kamiya right now. So that's my Devil May Cry experience.
I'm looking at Kamiya's wiki page. It's amazing how few games he's worked on, but it is a fucking list.
Yeah.
It's Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 0, Beautiful Joe 2, Beautiful Joe Double Trouble, and on those two he just did the story. And then this fucking string. Okami, Bayonetta, Wonderful 101, Bayonetta 2, Astral Chain, Bayonetta 3, and then Scalebound is canceled. So I can see why people were mad about that one, because he's on a fucking streak right now.
Mm-hmm. And again, if you just look at the director ones, it's 6 games. It's RE2, it's Devil May Cry, it's Beautiful Joe, Okami, Wonderful 101, Bayonetta. Just like, damn.
Yeah.
Dude's resume speaks for itself.
Yup. And again, I played 3 of those, completely loved all of them. And they just there's an escape sequence at the end of Devil May Cry. Like, they don't just have the final boss, they have a fun escape sequence and a cool sequence at the end. It's just very good. Polly.
Yo.
What have you been up to?
For me. Oh boy, more RPGs. You think I'd learn You think I would learn my fucking lesson?
Mm-hmm.
So I went from Mega Dimension Neptunia Victory to R, which was just like, oh boy,
a franchise you love.
A franchise I love. And guys ever heard of the Legend of Heroes series?
Oh yeah, the TurboGrafx game.
Yeah, they're making those still.
Still?
Yeah, there's this new one out. It's called The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the new one. I'm playing it right now.
How long are we going to keep this bit up?
How long are we going to keep this bit up? Not long, because I ain't got much longer for it. So, Trails of Cold Steel 3, game that I've been waiting for a fucking year, because I beat I beat 2 and literally immediately needed 3 in my veins. It went through a lot of issues, not knowing if it was even going to come out here. Then it was announced that NISA had it, and mass fucking panic. But then it was like, oh no, but like literally everybody from Xseed that was working on it is now working on this, and had their names removed from the PS4 versions of Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, by the way, by Xseed. Real fucking jack move, Xseed.
It's just our policy. It's only people who actually work at the company right now.
Fuck off. That kind of shit. Fuck off. Like that team is the reason that series made them the money it did, and that to have their names removed from the PS4 version is enough for me to boycott them.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a dick move.
Yeah,
I can't believe that.
When you consider what that team did for that series on the whole, like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But yeah,
I read a thread that's apparently pretty common. Like, not that this makes it okay, but that's common to the point where like people just say that they worked on a thing, and then people just kind of like, okay, because they know that credits aren't
they're not
trustworthy.
In
games, which is so fucking stupid.
It's real shitty.
I mean, I figure that's what happens at Ubisoft when those credits are literally half an hour long. They're just listing everybody that works at the company because fuck it.
Yeah. It works at all 14 of their dev studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like they need a union or something, right? So, Trails of Cold Steel 3. This game takes place a year and a half after the events of Trails of Cold Steel 2. And that game, the end of that game, finds a lot of the characters in some very precarious situations, and this game kind of finds a lot of them, moving forward after their life at the military academy and trying to make change in the world on their own terms. And that's a really cool kind of thing to see experiences. You get to see characters kind of grow out of their school-going days into adulthood and assuming bigger responsibilities. It kind of reinforces the idea of Thor's military academy itself is to be the foundation that the future is built on. And I think that's like really cool that you see the characters starting to do that. So our main character, Reem, obviously is the character in the most precarious situation of all by the end of the events of that game. And he is now also an instructor at a new branch of the Thor's military academy, which is basically the garbage can version of the academy that we have for weirdos. And he is in charge of a new Class 7 that only includes 4 members. So it's kind of like you get a real quick air of familiarity with your new cast, even though like a lot of people are coming to this game for the obvious continuity. We're being thrown into basically what is an entire new cast of characters because it's all new Thor's students, it's all new classes, and like I immediately clicked with these new characters in a way that I wasn't expecting, because I think that it's a bold move to have this cast that you grow really attached to, especially when like you are with them as the shit's going down in their lives. You know, you're going through some of the biggest changes of their lives in that previous game. Mm-hmm. So to kind of like throw you in with like an entirely new cast to get used to, bold move, and they make it work because I immediately like this new Class 7 in the same way that like when I played the Crossbell games, I kind of immediately liked that set of characters because they...
Wait.
I don't like
really?
this. I don't immediately like the story of Zero. I like the characters. Yeah. I don't like the story.
Yeah.
I remember you having issues with Zero. I thought it was the characters.
No,
as well.
No. It's just the story of Zero because I already knew what happened in Zero thanks to Cold Steel.
That's why you got to play them in order.
That's why you got to play them in order.
Which literally nobody does. Yeah, except me and John will do it.
Yeah,
yep.
It's
we'll
kind
be
of
the first ones.
It's hard to do that given the Crossbell games aren't out. So. Yeah, like you, even though it's essentially dealing with a new cast of characters, they're all written really well and you grow attached to them really quickly. I was especially surprised at how much I actually care about the other students that aren't actively on my fighting team or anything, because I actively go out of my way to find them on campus and shit and talk to them just to see what's going on.
Oh, making friends.
And I was really surprised at how well they're all written and how much you actually come to care. Like every student is named and like they've got their own profile. It's just like, and they did this in 2 as well. But I think that because you start out with such a huge Class 7 in Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, which is like 9 members, that you're really hyper-focused on them because that's a lot of time you need to spend getting to know a large cast of characters, whereas right now, like, you're kind of hyper-focused on these 4 characters, which is really only 3 because it counts Reen. So it's just like, it's 3 new characters that are taking the lead, and they have, like, really interesting stories for being there, and it's real interesting. Like one dude was like a former like his family is like the former protectors of the royal family, and now they don't have that designation any longer, so he's no longer in that lineage and needs to find a new purpose in life. Or there's a girl from Crossbell who is now in an Erebonian school. Like, that's real awkward, Like, I'm now going to school in the place that pretty much is fucking up Crossbell. And it's just like they all have real interesting reasons to be there, and you can buy into all of that. And it's really good. Really good character shit. Just, I wasn't expecting the new Class 7 to click with me as quickly as they did, but it was an even bigger surprise when I found myself really enjoying the actual side characters a lot. And like anytime there's a quest that pops up for them, I'm gonna go fucking do it, because these kids are these are real good kids, man. They're real good kids. The game follows a similar structure to Cold Steel 1, so you do some school life stuff, you do some training, and you eventually go on field exercises where like the bigger moments of the story play out. And that's kind of like that same setup. But I'm surprised that like they're doing it in a way where it doesn't feel like a complete rehash, even though it very much is. I think that they expect you that you've bought enough into it that it doesn't really bother you. And I think that like since you're dealing with a smaller class, they can make these field excursions a lot longer, and they feel a lot more meaty and substantial, and a lot more is happening in them. And like we just had just before I quit playing, there was just like this big character moment I got to that was just like, oh wow, that they really cut pretty deep. And I like being this early in the game, which I mean, I know 30 hours into a game sounds really weird to say early, but I know this game is probably about 100 hours long. So, but yeah, and then like, it's also really smart with its story in that this is a game that really respects its own lore, in that the in-game characters also like respect like have a certain amount of respect for certain things or certain places. And to see that kind of happen in a game, it was just kind of interesting to me because I've never seen, like, I guess that kind of solemn scene where, like, even though these characters, like, are in the same place and it's like they should be fighting each other, there's an air of, like, we can't do this here. No, you don't do that here. You do that somewhere else. Right now, we're just people here respecting a thing. And, like, it's real... Like, it hit real good. Like, they make those moments... they make those moments hit really good. And if you're coming to this game for, like, catharsis on, oh, man, like, all of the story stuff, yeah, it's happening. Like, this game is moving pretty fast. Even though it's, like, I'm 30 hours and only 2 chapters in.
Oh, my God.
But a lot happens moment to moment. Like, every conversation that you're having with characters that matter is very substantial. Like, they're moving the plot along at a very good clip, even though it sounds very slow. And of course, you're going to get lots of old familiar characters popping up all the time now. Like, and it's still amazing when they do, and it's great. But it's good that those moments don't overshadow the new characters that they've brought in as well. Like, I don't feel that just because I'm reuniting with former Class 7 members at various points, or maybe somebody from the Sky series shows up and you're like, oh shit, that's big and major. You know, I don't feel that those moments are overshadowing the moments where, like, the characters in this class are having their big moments too. So it ends up feeling really balanced for the fact that, like, this is a series that has quite a cast list count at this fucking point. Like, Erebonia is the hopping place to be right now, and everybody's here, and everybody wants a fucking piece. And I am just so excited and on board for where the story's going. Like, there's just so much intrigue, and they're starting to, like, hint at, like, we're going to start seeing some answers now. I'm not expecting anything to be fully, you know, wrapped up by the end of this game. There's still another game left.
There's still another 100-hour RPG after this one.
Yeah. But I'm very excited for where this game is going to take me. It's just real good.
That's so awesome. So
in terms of how the game plays, it's all pretty much similar. The structure and everything, like I said, is very similar to the previous to Trails of Cold Steel 1. And the battle system is kind of like it takes Trails of Cold Steel 2's battle system and just kind of adds some new things to it. It's mostly just simple tweaks and new gimmicks. The biggest one is Brave Orders, which are buffs that you can instantly cast on your party for the cost of battle points, which, like, previously, like, when you get battle points, like, they were used to perform something like an all-out attack in Persona. Like, when you got 5 of them, you could just make all of your characters rush in and attack all of the enemies at once. And you kind of just used the Brave points to build up to that. So now that you've got another full reason to actually use them, and it factors very heavily into tactical combat because, like, the Brave Orders are very, very overpowered. So it's just like, you could be like, just here's a fat 60% plus to all your damage for the next 5 character turns. It's like, okay, that's real fucking big. They also added a break system, which is similar to the Neptunia guard break system, where if you do enough damage to an enemy, they'll go into a break state, which means you will always get a critical. You will always get a follow-up attack, and you will always break their guard and get your extra follow-up attack, which is how you get brave points. So, like, all of these systems in the battle kind of feed back into one another, and it feels really good now that, like, the Brave Orders kind of, like, it feels like the thing that needed to be added to kind of make all parts of the battle system feel cohesive, whereas, like, it was kind of just, like, for 1 and 2, I feel like you could just go, you know, just, like, spam all of your arts, spam all of your crafts, and you're probably going to just be fine, whereas now, like, Brave Orders, especially in boss fights, matter a whole lot. Your position on the battlefield matters a hell of a lot more, too. Like, you're not going to want to group your characters up a lot, just a hint. You don't want to... Another thing is, like, when you fight major enemies, like, they have S-crafts, too, of course. And used to be there never used to be, like, any kind of, like, warning when that was going to happen. Oh. And now it seems like they've got a system in place where I've only had a couple of fights where characters that you fight have S breaks are a thing, but what has happened is they'll go into like a charge state the turn before that, and if you can deplete the break gauge under their HP bar before that attack goes off, you can actually nullify the S break from going off. So that's like a cool new mechanic that feels like it kind of like looking at S breaks and thinking like the enemies being able to fire those off without any kind of setup or like knowing when and if they're going to use it. It's really cool that you can like you got a chance at negating it. It's still really fucking hard to do. Like I've been playing on probably good. I've been playing on hard, so
are you still playing on hard?
I actually bumped it down to normal earlier because now like this was a buff that a few bosses in Cold Steel 2 used, but like at a certain point in battle, like some enemies and bosses they'll just get like this hyper buff that grants them a 10 to 25% heal, a 25 to 50% strength buff, a 25 to 50% defense buff, and a 25 to 50% speed buff. And the shitty thing about that is that like once it's done, like, okay, there goes a lot of the work you just put in on this boss. It's gone. And now the boss is also beating the mortal shit out of you, so you've got to dig your way out of this hole. So you dig yourself out of the hole, but by the time you've dug yourself out of the hole, the buff on the enemy is probably expired. So if you're not fast enough at getting back to doing damage, it can just do the buff again and put itself back to probably full health. And I spent about 22 minutes on a boss fight having that happen last night before I fucking... Yeah,
screamed.
I screamed, and then I just let it kill me, and then I put the game back on normal, and then just utilized a different set of orders, and still took 16 minutes.
God damn! It sounds like they might be like at the point where the demands they're placing on you are
they're
escalating. They're escalating faster than because like 1 and 2 you had to put them on hard to feel where you wanted it to be after the first 5 games.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. It's
how much do they shake up do they do stuff to add stuff to the combat in both the Zero games and the Cold Steel 1 and 2 in comparison with Sky? Because something I didn't realize was that
with Zero and Owl, the only thing they really added was like team attacks, where you can get like there's a panel on a turn order that can come up. It can be a team attack. So if you attack on that turn, then you can attack with everybody at once for like a big special attack. You get Master Quartz, which you can supplement your normal quartz loadout with an even bigger quartz that has like that you basically just keep equipped the entire game, and it's passive most of the time. You don't even think about it. And I still don't think the Master System or the Master Quartz system is all that refined, because even though you can have a sub Master Quartz now in Cold Steel 3, it's really just like, okay, you're still just giving me like one ability from the sub Master Quartz in one spell, and it's just like I'm still not thinking about my Master Quartz loadouts at all. The only time I'm thinking about it is if I'm building an invasion tank.
And then in Cold Steel 1 and 2, like it changes engines completely.
Yeah.
I think something I didn't process was like I saw your screenshots, I saw the exact same accessories from Sky, and I think I realized, there's still a lot of continuity in just the rules here.
Yeah, like everything, like the rules for the battle system are very much the same. It's just they've kind of blown it out in a different way. Like the numbers are bigger. You are way more OP than you ever were in the Sky games. Like you want to be using crafts in these games because they're ridiculous. And the game's tuned around you being ridiculous. And I think that sometimes that means they have to tune fights to the point to where they feel really bad. Like, I feel like when you have a boss that can completely undo 10 minutes of work, that's a little overkill.
Yeah.
I think you really need to re-examine, if the only way you can make this boss hard is to keep giving them that one same late fight buff to make them, so that they will have almost like a 20 to 30% chance of getting themselves back to full health and negating the entire fight. Like, that just feels shitty.
That's fair to me.
Yeah, so I know people are just get good. That's the mentality these days. That's like what I only play the game on Nightmare and it didn't bother me. It's like, well, fucking good for you. You just don't understand game balance then. That's all you're telling me. Because in no world is that really fun. It's like, I love these games, but I'm going to point out the flaws. And I think that at this point they may have stretched their battle system to the point to where they don't really know, without making a new battle system entirely from the ground up, they don't really know how to make it harder unless it's bigger numbers and just big late game buffs that the enemy can do to itself to negate your work.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that's what I was kind of thinking. It's like I saw that a lot of these rules were the same, and then I realized like I was kind of satisfied with my experience with the Trails in the Sky battle system by the end of third. I felt like I pretty much just sort of I learned that. Let's see what's next.
Well, Zero and Owl are not going to change that much.
Yeah.
They are a lot of the same. I think the Cold Steel feels different enough that it is a new battle system. It follows a similar set of rules, but it does its own things that I feel like it does enough to like say, hey, I'm still part of this series, but I think that it also does enough that it differentiates itself in a worthwhile manner.
And then Cold Steel 3 is like, all right, we are the third game in this new updated version.
Yeah.
So we're running out of ways. We're once again running out, like third did. We're running out of
ways to make it
up.
harder, which kind of like I'm almost afraid of what this game's going to be throwing at me end game, and like, what the fuck does 4 even look like?
Yeah, I was saying 4 is just, this boss like 100% heals every turn.
It's like, fuck it, just play 4 on easy. Hey man,
that's what I'm thinking, is that it just might be transitioning towards like, I'm playing this for the story for a bit, and then I'll kind of get through the fighting.
Yeah, like, I still enjoy a damn good boss fight. Like the end of Chapter 1 has an amazing first boss fight where everything is stacked against you in a way that just feels so unfair when it's happening, because these enemies are going on like 7 and 8 turns a pop, and it's like, how do I overcome this? It's like, oh wait, I've got Brave Orders, and these things are meant to turn the tide of battle. Okay, they really want you to engage with that Brave Order system. So yeah.
It's like the Devil Trigger in Devil May Cry. You need to use it.
Like, that is a big thing with people starting out playing those games, is that they're afraid to use the Devil Trigger. It is a fungible resource. You'll get it back. Don't worry. Use it. You're not a baby if you use it. You're not a baby if you use a bomb and a shmup.
Yeah.
Well, you are sometimes. Depends on the game.
I think using Devil Triggers is more baked in than the bombs sometimes.
yeah, you're not wrong. I think a lot of shmups are definitely not designed around bomb play.
Devil Trigger doesn't lower your rank, as far as I'm aware.
No, it doesn't. It actually helps with your rank because you're able to attain higher combos.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Cool.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Cold Steel 3 a lot. Like, it is doing everything.
What a surprise.
It's doing everything that I've wanted it to do. Like, I am fully satisfied with this cast of characters, where the plot is going. The old and new faces alike are all just doing everything that I've wanted. So, I don't think that we're on track for this to be disappointing in any way.
I mean, I was kind of thinking, like, you started it, and I was just like, man, what if this was bad? And then I realized, like, wouldn't that be sad? And then I realized, like, you have played 7 of these.
Yeah.
And you did like them all.
Yeah, I'm invested at this point,
Like, this is probably gonna... They probably got it figured out.
Yeah, like, if the combat was that bad and putting me off, I would just turn it on very easy and just cruise. Because, like, hey, I'm primarily here for story, but I like the battle system enough to want to engage with it on a challenging level, so... Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, this is a winner. Like, I mean, like, what do you want me to...
It's another Falcom game.
It's another Falcom game.
They're killing it. They've been killing it for 20 years.
Yeah. Like, so, like, like, odds are, by the time we're back here next time, I will maybe have completed the game, and you'll just hear me gushing about how great it is. And then I can't... Awesome. And then I won't be able to say much about it because it'll be spoilerific.
Yeah. And then I was very impressed by how deftly you talked about it without spoiling it stuff.
That was really hard to do.
Well done. And then in 2 years, you get to play 4.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Maybe?
Hopefully. And I think that they are already likely working on that localization, though, because from my understanding is that the president of Falcom said that they're not sending their work to NISA for it to get localized until they have 100% nailed down everything, because even East 9 got like a bunch of stuff updated after release. So I imagine that since Trails of Cold Steel 4 has been out since last September, I'm going to say NISA probably already has and is working on that, and then East 9 will come afterward. That's just
Zero and R getting punched up by fans.
Yeah,
a good place for this series, I think.
Yep.
And then whatever's next.
Then whatever's next, we know basically where the next series is taking place in the Calvard region, so
that checks out.
That's going to be real interesting. God. Yeah, big surprise.
Going. The ride never ends.
Big surprise. I love Trails of Cold Steel 3.
We're gonna slowly catch up with you over the next couple of years.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
We'll be talking. It'll be Sockscast Game of the Year 2020.
Yeah.
Sockscast Game of the Year 2021. Oh, my favorite is Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Y'all will be hitting 1 by that point. You'll get to the end of 1 and just be like, "Holy shit! It's the greatest fucking thing."
God,
I know Rhett will anyway.
Fucking love Falcom.
They're good shit, man. Like, the number of times Falcom has come up on this podcast in the last fucking year. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It almost rivals Symphogear.
It really does.
In quality and frequency of coming up with the podcast.
Damn. Boom. Just one parting shot, right? Had to take it.
Also, that's one other thing with Devil May Cry, is I kept playing it, and then I was thinking about Oath and Felghana and E6. Just like, man, these were also just really good PS2 era action games, and like a lot of people couldn't stick that.
Yeah,
they couldn't make that format, like the 3D beat 'em ups and like the PS2 era, feel really good. And then it's fun to play Devil May Cry. It feels really good, and then fun to play the East games that feel really, really good.
Absolutely. So, are we done?
Rhett, did you have another thing?
I mean, I've been playing the Somnium Files, which Polly talked about earlier, but I don't have a ton to say about it right now because I'm kind of deep in it.
Yeah, he's started hitting those later branches in the forks, and the shit's starting to come out now.
Boy, I, for some reason, was not expecting this to go that hard. I don't know why. It just seemed like, oh, these are very cute
funny
character designs.
Yeah.
Mizuki's cute, Iris is cute, Haiba's cute. That's her name.
Dante's cute.
He is.
But it's a first-person game, so you don't see him as much.
That's true.
That's good.
I was just like, oh, this is a game with a lot of cute girls, basically.
Yes. That was my impression.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? Exactly. So I guess we're going to go ahead and start winding things down then.
Yep.
Of course, I want to thank everybody for coming out once again for the live show, and of course, thank you for downloading it. We appreciate all the love, and thank you, of course, for the bits and subs. Those are also very much appreciated. Y'all are wonderful, wonderful people. Rhett, where can everybody find you?
I think inconsequentialexistence.com. Not updated for like a year.
Not John Thayer.
Farawaytimes.itch.io.
And you can find me at my dumb website and here on Twitch. And remember, we are the podcast that loves you. We're the only ones that love you. And that's a podcast.
Woo!
Woo! We're the best.
Tight 240.
We did it.
Yep.
Nice.
We did it. We are the best. Hey, After 5, are you streaming after this or not? That way I know if I need to throw you a host or not.
Oh shit, I missed a lot of chat. Give me a second.
Oh. Still sick? No stream. Okay. Rhett, you are free to go back to I then, Rhett. Okay.
Yeah, but now I feel bad because it's because he's sick. I hope he feels better soon.
Yeah, we hope you feel better, dude. Okay, I'm going to look for somebody to host. It doesn't look like fucking anybody Play.
I really want to play Overwatch 2, but I can't bring myself to skip Overwatch 1.
Let's see. Man, ain't nobody streaming tonight. His Final Fantasy V disaster runs. Damn. Fucking.
I'm playing Devil May Cry 3, so probably not streaming. I played Adventures of Star Saver earlier today. Do y'all know that one at all?
Yes. That's a Game Boy Advance game?
It's a Game Boy. It's original Game Boy game.
Yeah. Okay.
I won credited that today, just on a whim.
Well,
That's the first thing I did after hitting Media Zero.
Well, aren't you just a swag baller?
I know.
Oh yeah, I guess I briefly mentioned them. I played a bit of Minori and was like, oh
no.
It is unfortunately not.
I was
good.
like super into it for like the first half hour because that game fucking oozes atmosphere.
Yeah, it really does. For
And
like
then you get
that
to a
first
boss
bit,
and you just go, oh man, this combat is just not actually working for me.
Yeah. Well, I got nobody to host, so yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So good.
Is anybody I follow?
Yeah, is anybody you follow streaming? I'll gladly throw them a host.
I just bought Okami.
Oh my god. How many times are you going to be a traitor?
I didn't realize you felt strongly about this.
Yeah, John, you made it through the podcast and didn't mention Homestuck too.
I didn't. You're right. That really, my profile. I want to change my profile back, but then my actual like In Flames bird avatar is on my work computer.
Oh,
so
I know.
I'll take that back tomorrow. Until then, I'm gonna be.
After all the betrayal that happened this week, you changing your very cute Sonic Adventure avatar to a Homestuck one
was
it was just another kick.
Oh my god. Okay. So I don't think anybody's streaming then.
Nah.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and send you all on home for the night then. Again, thanks for coming out. We'll catch you next time.